Da 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 re do 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 do. Da 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 da. Oh do 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 dee do. La da 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 ba ba da 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 ba ba da dee da 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 dee doo dee doo doo dee doo doo dee doo doo dee dee doo 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 dee doo 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 la da 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 dee dee da 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 la da 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 da. La da 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 la da 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 da. Do 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 da 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 na 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 da 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 dee 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 doo doo dee doo doo dee doo dee doo dee doo doo dee doo dee doo doo dee doo dee doo dee doo 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 doo. Bum bum ba bum bum da 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 dum dum da 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 la da 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 well da 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 da. Ba da ba da da. Da 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 da. Sometimes you just have to part the sea of the anime. This is part of it. This is part of everything. Sometimes you find the sad fairy girl is inside of you all along. Merry Christmas. Today, we're discussing a serious topic. But until then, I hope that you will enjoy some of these sweet melodies of Kali Yuga.
Somebody! We'll be right back.
Welcome to Nice Radio. My friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. Our last album, The Sweet Melodies of Kali Yuga, which you just heard, and you could go get your own copy on s4s.bandcamp.com, of course, was a tour de France. It won over 16 medals at the Olympics. The 2020 Olympics, by the way, which are canceled. Our world has dripped into madness since our last interaction. We all knew that you could spread COVID-19 through the radio, but we didn't know it was going to spread that fast. We didn't realize how intense the next fissure was going to be. This berry was infected with the coronavirus from listening to the radio. And now it seems that even more people and objects outside of our own controlling sphere also have the coronavirus. Now there's some math that you can do that makes perfect sense, but I don't think that makes sense to us. What we want to know is what is actually going on out there. What do we need to do? And I think a good place to start here is an exposition on what Kali Yuga is. So, Kali Yuga is a Hindu period of time. It is the fourth period of time of human history. They believe that each time a yuga happens, there's a major modification in the world. And Kali Yuga specifically is associated with the degradation of spirituality. Now, that just means that everyone is spiritually bankrupt, they're hedonistic, society begins to break down, greed and materialism take over, there's unrestricted egoism, as we've seen here on the internet millions of times. And not only that, but there are afflictions of the body and the mind. Now, of surety, each and every one of these things could be attributed to the current status of time, which is why we believe that we are living within the Kali Yuga. From our Wikipedia entry, we can see that the prophesied events for rulers are that they will become unreasonable and levy taxes unfairly, as we have seen with our political system, where each and every bill that passes through must include hundreds of pages of separate doctrine. And by the way, as your radio man, I am here in the United States. My perception falls from that area. So if you out there are a nice listener and you'd like to provide me with some outside context, I'll be more than happy to add that to my ideals. However, I can say for certain that I would view that rulers are unreasonable, levying taxes unfairly. Of course, this goes beyond the taxes portion. Do we have high taxes here? Certainly. But, there are reasons why we pay our taxes. As far as the unreasonableness of politicians and the breakdown of a democratic system, I do question the possibilities. Oh, we have a beautiful little anime here. I just want to show you this great little anime. This is Zoe, and we also have a kitty who has a kitty on its back. Amazing. No dubs in the thread yet. By the way, that thread 8567583. We're going to also have a tutorial on washing our hands a little bit later, but first I want to show you this amazing little anime child. And this child is called Zoe. And Zoe seems to be a cat of some form, and really likes Sonic. You can see the little Sonic hanging right there, and that's just adorable. I do think her pants might be a little tight, Zoe. I would suggest getting some pants that fit. I mean, I know that this is what you want to look like, but I would highly suggest that you wear something more comfortable, because in the long run, comfort is going to win out over style. Now, we also see this catted who has the same picture of itself on its own back, and then Exhibit is like, we're going to pimp your cat. We heard you like cats, so we put a cat on your cat so you can cat while you cat. What? That's a pretty good image right there, friend. I have to say, brilliant. That is the next level of entertainment, and we will be spending lots of time on entertainment this morning. Radio Egg, Radio, oh, thank you very much, 8567618. Whoop, whoop, pull over that ass is too fat. Now, ma'am, Miss Anime, I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but I would highly suggest looking at some options other than swearing in order to woo your counterparts. Though I do have to say, I do have an affinity to animes, and you are on the high end of the spectrum, as far as I'm concerned, for cuteness, adorableness, and the ability for you to pull wonder from deep within my soul. Now, you three are done. It's good that you were on the show, but we have other things to talk about. Thank you for your contributions. This is a bully-free zone. Thank you for reminding Jewy. We will not be doing any bullying today, and I do want to apologize to all the birds out there if you were offended. You just have to understand I come from a different world. It's nothing to do with you. It is all my fault. They said I can't. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. And that is definitely what we're talking about here. People are definitely panic buying here. There was a limit imposed on people, but everyone just goes from places to places. You see people you never saw before because of that. And I also see the same exact thing around here in my area. Anonymous 8567624. We see that the shelves at stores are pretty much emptying. They are being able to keep products on the shelves these days, but last week and the week prior, we had a lot of issue with certain items. We saw in the media, of course, that the toilet paper shortage was a big deal for a small period of time. And, toilet paper is important, but at the end of the day, you can always just take a shower. And so I don't see why you would go out and buy anything. But if you were going to do, I see that you have summoned this delicious little Whopperito here. And for the audience, just to know what a Whopperito is, check that sucker out. This is a burrito with a Whopper inside of it. This is something that no human being should eat. However, it is a proper Kali Yuga meal. The simplicity of a burger wrapped up into a burrito so that it can be devoured more easily. Kali Yuga itself also sees that ruler who don't see it as their duty to promote spirituality or protect their subjects. We do see with someone like a Donald Trump, we do see an ideal out there to protect folks, but we have to question what is actually happening here. And is this for our own benefit, or is there something going on behind the scenes? I will tell you this, folks. Unless this is some sort of biological agent, or this thing has been developed in a laboratory to kill people, or we just got lucky and the super virus has emerged from the earth, whatever the case is, shutting down businesses, shutting down the markets of the world, draining all of the money from the world economies, this is insanity. This is insanity, and to me, there can be no explanation that follows this is just a very deadly disease. Now, I don't want to say that and tell you that this is not a deadly disease and that you should not be careful out there in the world. But what I do want to say is you should behave as if this is a deadly virus. But personally, and I hope that I can provide data for you to see that through my observations, I believe that there's something else going on. And I think I know what it might be. Now, we also see during Kali Yuga that people start migrating, seeking countries with better food. And that certainly has happened. We've seen immigration in the United States from Mexico, folks coming up from Central and South America to reach the United States. We've seen immigration from all over the planet, but that's not necessarily different as compared to what we would normally see in the United States. This is a melting pot country. However, we see from the Middle East, Syria, people running away, fleeing war, and dripping into Europe. And now Europe is being overrun with folks from those countries. And, there is a backlash, a pushback due to that. But still, this is a prophesied event to occur during Kali Yuga. The final ruler information here says, at the end of Kali Yuga, there will exist no topics on the subject of God, even at the resistance of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of the three higher Varnas. Now, I don't know what a Varna is, but when nothing is known of the techniques of sacrifice, even the word, at that time the Lord will appear as the supreme chastiser. Now, I don't know what that means necessarily, but you know what? It sounds really good. This lovely fig, 8567629, loves their landlord. Aquafresh haircut, looking really nice there. Dapper. I can't shop during shut-in hours anymore. Very interesting. Anonymous 8567631, what are your shut-in hours? Currently, we are told to stay at home, but we are not necessarily told that we cannot leave the house. I would be interested to see the times, and I do think that these sorts of things will spread out and continue on as we move forward here, where we will all see incredible lockdowns, where we'll be stuck inside of our homes. There are going to be checkpoints on all of the roads. I would highly suggest, if you have any scenario where your vehicle may be compromised, that you should absolutely go and get that figured out before the next stage of this occurs. We do have Dewey being seen by a car with gigantic wheels. Again, the thread 8567583. Beautiful wheels there. We have the nice girl saying hi to Dewey, or Dewey responding back, and sweaty little girl. What a girl. And then we have this question, and this is a question that really fits the topic today. And so I want to bring it to the foreground, and we'll talk about that. Again, I don't want this to be a doom and gloom show, so we are going to play some nice music and have some conversation. But I do want to try to spread some information with you so that we can all come to better terms with what is actually going on here and what we can do. So what will happen? We have a car made from the hardest metal and a wall made from the hardest metal in the world. And what happens in this scenario is basically that the car hits the wall. Anything inside of the car would be slammed into the front of the car. But otherwise, the wall would not break, the car would not break. We would just see any sort of mechanical outside pieces there, or any organic material inside be completely squished right up against the front glass. So that's plus. After midnight, all stores close at 9 or 10. So, I think that makes sense too, and congratulations on your dubs. 8567644. Great job, my friend. That seems to be a very relaxed scenario there. At least, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with this microphone. But thank you, Anonymous. Let me know if that's better for the sound quality. So we have stores that open around 8 o'clock in the morning here. There's an hour for senior citizens, so anyone over 50 is allowed to go in for an hour, separate from everyone else, and then the day proceeds. As the day proceeds, we normally have stores closing around 9 o'clock at this point. At 9 o'clock, all the stores close down. And to say after midnight you're not allowed to be out on the road anymore, I don't think that there's anything that you should really be out on the road for. That being said, I want to make this very clear that we all need to be careful as far as traveling is concerned. Not just because of spreading of the virus or anything of that nature, even though that is technically an aspect of all of this. But we need to be prepared at any moment for more stricter lockdowns to come in place. If you decide you're going to go on vacation, you're going to leave your home state or your home country and you're going to go somewhere else, you need to be prepared to be trapped there. Because what is happening is not a motion from one state or one country. This is an event that is happening throughout the world. The virus was initially seen in Wuhan, China. We all know the scenarios that we've all paid attention to. I first heard of COVID-19 back in January. And I recall seeing that it was a a hard influenza outbreak. It was very, very dangerous, and things of that nature. And since then, I've been collecting a lot of information, doing a lot of research, and trying to recognize patterns. And so the purpose of this broadcast is to bring those patterns to light to everyone here. And not only that, but I would love to discuss with all of you what you've seen, what your lives are like, how different your realities are, and then some fears or concerns that you might have, or some encouragement that you might have for the rest of the group here, because we all are in this together, and hopefully we will be able to find a place where we can all move forward and continue to express ourselves, because this is not the end of the world by any means. At least, I want to keep that thought at the forefront of my mind, because I don't believe that it is. Le Painting Girl is stuck at work at the store, which means Le Painting Girl is an essential employee. Now, I didn't know that painting was so important. But I do want to say that I'm very glad that you are still painting as much as you possibly can, and I want you to know that as an essential, I am fighting for you to unionize and become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Now, I do have to say that in your future, you probably will be wearing a hazmat suit to work. This is just for your safety and the safety of others who would utilize your wares, but at the same time, I do think that there is a future prospect for you, so stay strong. Be sure to eat lots of vitamin C. If you're not eating vitamin C, you should do so. It's good for your immune system as well. Eating foods that are high in nutrition is also very great. Quintal is saying that China is getting some cases of being reinfected after recovery, and we will discuss this later, Quintal. It is actually very common that this sickness will be flowing in waves. The first wave lasts from around 4 to 8 weeks from what is currently being researched, and then we see a resurgence of the sickness again, which is why this is not something that I feel like is going to be going away anytime soon. We are going to have to live with this thing. We are going to have to modify our lives to be now our life plus the corona pandemic, and we may never return to a normal phase of life. So I hope that you're all enjoying your ability to spend more time on the computer. If you're essential, I hope that you're enjoying that the roads have less people on them. But I really do believe that soon essential positions will be replaced by robotics and artificial intelligences, and that in the very, very, very near future, we are going to be in a position to truly modify the world and formulate a new future. Now, Quintal, of course, blames China, and that is not a bad thing. Now, the thing here is that, as our President Donald Trump has said, they should have told us earlier about all of this. Now, there are reports that China did, in fact, send vaccines or send samples of COVID-19, and that Donald Trump turned them down. There are other reports that this happened during a joint exercise between U.S. and U.K. troops, and that the virus was released at that point. We also have information that the virus was created by man. It's man-made. It was created back in 2015 and just was spread out now, known that it is a super virus. Other things scary about this, we see that it's possible that this virus can live for hours and hours on surfaces, or days on surfaces. I believe 3 days on a surface. It can also survive in the air if it's aerosolized by a sneeze, by a fart, or by spraying it out through an aerosol container. And that can also cause the virus to spread much quicker. We're looking at China burning bodies, okay, just for information of the group, and we will talk about this in a more coherent way, but China is using giant incinerators to burn the bodies of the victims that are infected with this COVID-19 virus. This smoke is then going up into the air and traveling around the world through the temperate climate zone, which is also potentially spreading the virus. The reality here is that we do not know, and we probably will never know, what is actually happening. But we have some clues that we can follow to say what is going to happen in the future, and I hope that I can expose to you my conception of what the future holds for this this world, for all of us inside of it, and for the continuation of Kali Yuga toward the end scenario, the end scene, which of course is a beautiful place that we all want to go, where we get to go and be friends forever in the next life. Now, this friend here, Anonymous 8567656, lots of sixes there, beautiful job, shared this beautiful OC with us. This is my OC. Please share thoughts. Also, Donut Steal. Anonymous, I would never steal occupational contamination from anyone else, but I do think that it's a very nice OC. It's a little clown Spurto, and he seems to be a happy boy. Now, the only thing I wonder, is he trying to trick me? Because I feel like I'm being rused slightly. We also have Anonymous 8567657 that says, Jinkum is the cure. Now, Anonymous, I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate. It's been quite a long time since I made some Jinkum. But if anyone out there has some cat poop available, you just take the cat poop, you put it in a bottle, put a little water in there, mix it up, let it sit for a few days. The bottle will start to expand and get really hard, and that's when you know that the Jinkum is strong. So then you just remove the bottle, and you huff all of the air, and that is supposed to be even a more active psychedelic trip than if you would just smoke banana peels, which I don't honestly recommend because bananas cannot be trusted in these sorts of scenarios. Thank you very much, Anonymous. And we have an introduction. Apparently, Nadoka, this is a very gory image, and I do not suggest that you look at this gory image. Anonymous 8567662, good sixes, though. Very nice. Reminder that all essential employees will die for the virus, no exceptions. Now, Terry, it's very interesting that you would say this today. I do worry about essential employees, and I do believe that the people that will suffer the longest from this are going to be what are termed essential employees. However, I also believe that the epidemic that spreads through all of our wonderful essential employees out there is also going to be the same scenario that brings upon the new generation of working, meaning that the new generation of information as it comes in the form of robotics, artificial intelligence, and virtual work or virtual reality. If you're out there and you're an essential employee, I would highly suggest that you go take a look at some websites that have work-from-home options. There are tons of work-from-home options we're opening up right now, starting at $15 an hour, some of them that I saw. And this would be a great time to transition into that environment, if possible for you. So that way you don't have to worry about going out and actually interacting in the world here. It's not that I'm worried about you during the day, though I do highly suggest that you wash your hands, stay careful. But the reality is this, my friends, is that a virus like this is going to infect us all. By the end of this, we will all have tasted the coronavirus. We will all experience it. There's no way to protect yourself. If it can live on a surface for 3 days, are they taking all of the groceries and holding them in a storage room for 3 days? And at that point, are the people moving the storage from the room to the truck? Are those people making sure that they're quarantined for 3 days? The inoculation period for the virus is anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And during that inoculation period, you can infect others with the virus. You can cough with no symptoms on a box, and that box can then carry the virus. This is not something that we can dodge, but it is something that we can grow to live with. I do worry about all of you essentials out there, and I hope that you can find a way to get to a non-essential position. But I also believe that if you're young and you're strong, that your body can learn to live with and fight this influenza. From what I've understood, about 85% of people that get this virus will treat it as an average flu. Then there will be about 10% of people beyond that will experience medium, moderate symptoms, which are going to include, very bad sicknesses, flu, perhaps even greater sickness than that. And then there will be about a 5% of the population that will experience the devastation. Now, we have seen higher percentage numbers, anywhere from 5 to 10% for a death rate on this. But the issue is that not only is COVID-19 a virus that has now spawned multiple different mutations, but it is also a virus that is constantly coming back and attempting to attack because we can't control its spread. If you have the capability, please stay at home. Please enjoy nice radio. I want to make sure that this nice radio is going to be a scenario where we can all come together more often, we can share information, and we can help each other and hold each other. I have a video here, and I'm just going to check it out. Intentionally spreading the coronavirus. I actually did see this. This video is a young man, and the young man is talking. He's having a chat with his YouTube channel, and there's a lady behind him wiping her nose and then wiping it on a bench. We see other examples of people sneezing and throwing it on others. Folks, here's the thing. If this is biowarfare, this is the worst case of it that we've ever seen in a worldwide status. The fact is that this virus started in November in Wuhan, China. Even if it was a leaked bioweapon and they decided to turn it into an attack, from November to almost the end of January, these people were traveling the world freely. They were infecting others. We had a very severe flu season. Everyone that I know recalls getting sick in November, December, January, and then getting over the sickness, but it being one of the worst flus they had experienced in a very long time. I personally did not get that flu, but I did get allergies last week, which persist into this week. And every single time I cough or I sneeze or I hack up a little bit or I blow my nose, I start to think, is this the Rona? Am I going to give the Rona to the people around me, the people that I love? And the reality of quarantine is that you will spread the virus between the people that you know. You will spread the virus between them. But the least people that you can interact with, the less spreading is going on. And generally, when we see a virus, the more you obtain that virus, the more your immunity builds. But there's also information that COVID is not the same way, and that it actually gets stronger when you become reinfected. So everything that I've said so far sounds very doomish and gloomish, but I do think that there is an outcome from all of this that is not so doomy and gloomy, even though I do think that we will live in a world where we have what I would term a pandemic season. How did the virus escape the computer? Check and Keck asks, Chinese are half computer? Well, from what I understand, someone uploaded the virus into a bat, and then they ate the bat from the soup. But that's really not true. You see, bat DNA and human DNA do not mesh perfectly one-to-one. A bat has quite varied DNA from a human being. So chances are that if this was to have happened from some sort of bat soup, that the bat soup would have had to be contaminated with the virus. One theory that I heard, and of course you have to understand as well, there are so many theories about this. There are stories now coming out that there are Russian and Chinese disinformation campaigns running to try to confuse everyone about this thing. The information that you're getting is not necessarily going to be the 100% truth, because we can't know what's actually true, and we will never know what is actually true. Just like 9/11, we can only theorize and try to put together information so that we can potentially understand what it is that's going on here. Now, the most recent theory that I heard is that there was an exchange of this virus at a Wuhan market. There was a skirmish that happened. The virus was leaked. And it spread from the market there, hitting all the food vendors, hitting all the food, and then that's where this idea of bat soup came from. I also think that it's probably a background of racism in some way, because we know that Chinese eat raw birds, and they eat dogs, and they kill animals that we wouldn't normally consider eating, and so it's a way that we can start to arouse some hatred and racism for them. Now, I will tell you that listening to our nation's leader tells me absolutely that at some point in this scenario there is going to be a concept to get revenge from China. And I even assume that there will be a ground force because of how many people China has inside of its country. I don't ever want to see that happen. I don't ever want to see this world go to war. But on the date where the internet stops, we have a lot of things to look forward to, and not all of them are good. Now I'm going to take a short break to drink some water. If you haven't drank any water, you should definitely do so. We're going to listen to some sweet melodies of Kali Yuga, and I will also be listening to songs off of our OC compilation disc. That OC compilation titled The Autistic Screeching of Loverly Nice Music. This song is going to be called Whizzing By Empty Whiz. No, that one's too short. How about Giraffe by Tildas? We'll listen to that song. Go ahead and get yourself some water. Come back with some great stories. If you have comments, our thread is currently 8567583. It is a great thread. Lots of wonderful posters here in the thread. We even have some double digits. 8567677. That video was from before the corona. Can you stop repeating everything you heard others say? Okay, thanks. Oh God, please don't talk about corona. I can't watch this crap radio. You're literally just reading Paul. I have to tell you, my friend, the purpose of this is not to just say the same things that everyone else has said, or whatever that is. I think that this is a community-building exercise where we can learn to communicate with one another better. And unfortunately, this is a huge topic that's happening out here, so we're going to talk about it. And I apologize if you don't like it, but I promise you that there will be other YouTubes in the future, other videos, content that will be about things that are not COVID-19. I do apologize if it hurts your feelings. It also hurts my feelings, and I wish that you and I could come to some sort of an agreement. The main purpose of my attempt here, and of course I'm just laying out the framework of what my actual topic will be, which is the technological implantations that are going to be coming as a response to COVID-19 and how COVID-19 is being used to usher in the future of what our society will be. That is artificial AI controlling a lot of robotics plants, removing the human being from manufacturing entirely, creating online environments where we can both live and work, and then the creation of the new essential class versus the non-essential class and what we can expect from essentials moving forward. So if you're enjoying this radio program, please go drink some healthy water. This show is sponsored by water. I love you very much. Please enjoy this beautiful song, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. This is Le Radio Man, and you are listening to Nice Radio. And I forgot what song I was going to play. Never mind, here it is. Didn't even notice these sick trips. This is 8567666 by Poop Boy. Because everyone in Italy is quarantined, the natural wildlife has returned to the waters and forests, and we're going to check that out right away. Look at this beautiful image and enjoy this beautiful song. Now, the best thing about failing the literacy test is that it says that the test is to be given to anyone who cannot prove a 5th grade education. So fortunately, I did not have to take this test, but you can see here that I am obviously quite illiterate, and thank you so much, Anonymous, for proving that to me. Reading has always been a real struggle, talking even more of a struggle, so I really do appreciate what you've done here. Question for the doctors: what do you do if you have no alcohol and everything is closed because of Corona? Help, my arms hurt from hitting my children so much. Here's what I would do. I would go ahead and just send your kids outside. What I would then do is, go and sleep. And you're going to need to sleep for like 7 to 10 days. You're really going to need to sleep it off. Be sure to wake up and hydrate, take lots of showers, but then just go back to sleep. You might want to eat every few days. That's probably a good idea too. Bacon is really good and easily available. You may also want to drink some milk or something. I don't normally suggest drinking any animal secretions, but you could do that if you wanted to, and that would be okay. But really, the whole message that I'm trying to get at is stop hitting your kids, because it's not their fault. They're just children, and really, it's rude to hit them, because if you do hit your children, then they're going to turn out to look like this guy right here. Face reveal. Anonymous 8567681. Don't let your kids turn out to this guy. Stop hitting them, and maybe they'll actually become decent. Now, we have Terry here, beautiful Terry, and he's sending out an email to the IRA, which is really good. They lost the war on terror. ComSec Equipment / Technical Security Solutions Center. Terry Davis, the man, the myth, the legend. Chi-Com disinfo shield detected. Thank you for detecting that Chi-Com disinfo shill. Again, this radio broadcaster does not believe this was caused by China. Your radio broadcast believes that this is a false flag operation. Now, Radio Man, if you can pass this simple test, I will allow you into my well-stocked bunker before the SHTF, the stuff hits the fan, and you will be able to survive the apocalypse. If you can't solve it, you'll be left to die with the other cattle. I suppose I get to die with the other cattle. Not really that worried about it, though, because the world is going to be very, very empty when you're done, and I know that you've got plenty of soups and canned drinks and things like that, and bullets and guns. But when you come up after this, and by the way, how long are you planning to stay in your bunker? But when you come up after all of this, there's going to be nothing there for you. You're literally going to have to rebuild society, and I hope that you're prepared to do so. Myself, personally, I would be more than happy to participate, but to build a society is quite a big experience. This is why I would never want to be one of the first to go to Mars or the first to travel to a distant planet, is because setting up a society, creating that world, very, very difficult, not very fun, and you probably will end up dying before you even see it come back to life. So, good luck, and I hope that the giant bugs don't immediately destroy you. I do think they have armored plating. I would be very careful. I don't think your bullets are going to work very well. We got some teacup pigs. These are really cute right here. This should bring a little happiness and joy into this whole radio broadcast. And get this friggin' disturbing guy out of here. Don't forget to return pizza to their natural environment, and keep your parents home. Okay, your parents are always trying to leave. Like they always have somewhere to be. Tell those folks to stay home. They are susceptible. Now here we got these teacup pigs. Beautiful. This was drooling a little bit. That's kind of disgusting. But you know what? I love pigs. I love animals. And I love you. So there you go. The Taskmaster has been reborn. Only quads can kill the Taskmaster right now. The Taskmaster. Una delicia. Don't forget to try to destroy the Taskmaster. Right now, Taskmaster is live on the radio. If you can get quads, you can destroy the Taskmaster. We do have some double-doubles. Do you have a single butt to fart that up? Do you have a single lol to back that up with? No, I do not. By the way, don't forget the Taskmaster is here, and if we don't save these young piggins from the Taskmaster soon, then the Taskmaster shall destroy them with his great fire mouth, and we will all be very sad because the cute pigum will be destroyed. Please go and get quads in this thread to kill the Taskmaster and return S4S to some form of stability. We have a lady getting a cat on the face mouth, seeing as we will be jobless soon, I want to get ahead and start shooting hand porn to sell on the internet. And here another question arises. What nail polish do you suggest? Should I go in guns blazing or start modest so you have time to fall in love first? You know, Poop Boy, your post number 8567736, really nice sevens. What I would tell you is that, first of all, you really have to go with your skin tone when you're picking, your nail polish. I would suggest going with something a bit darker at first. You don't want to really have that vivacious color. You want to be able to kind of figure out what your audience is going to want. But I do think that this is a really good idea. This is a great way to get out of the essential market and become non-essential immediately. One of the goals that we should be following is to try to become non-essential as soon as possible. Essential sounds good. It's not good. So again, I would do a little bit of a darker color there, maybe like a purple or some kind of a teal, and then I would just kind of, do whatever you need to do. I'm not sure of the mechanics of becoming a hand porn specialist. But yeah, hopefully that will be good. And what I would say is that you should spend some time with those darker colors and then slowly modify your palette based on feedback that you get from your friends. Maybe you could do a couple of live streams, just to see. I'm pretty sure that hand porn is still allowed on Twitch and on YouTube even. So you could get a lot of feedback. You just need to listen to your audience. You need to give them what they want. Just like I do on this radio show. I listen to my audience and I give them what they want. More COVID-19 coverage, more information about what's coming. Hey bro, here's your controller. It's covered in cheese. I don't want to touch it. I will not touch it. I will throw this in the trash can. I'll put it in a disposal and I will shred it into microscopic bits before I will play a game with this controller. And I will still defeat you. You will still be defeated. I won't even have a controller. Mr. Lelsey just donated 1 lemon. Thank you, Lelsey, for the lemon. Thanks so much. Don't forget, join the man. Post the lemon. Le man, lemon. Don't forget about the man. He's a very good man. Dance with the man. Everybody loves man. We have 18 people listening to the show right now. Thank you so very much for everything that you've done contributing to this program. If you're enjoying this program, please go ahead and give a subscription to this channel. The main reason I say so is because now that I am in quarantine, I do plan to be broadcasting on this channel more often, and it'll be much easier for everyone to know when I go live if they have a subscription here. There is an app for this as well, so dance the night away, and thank you everyone so much for everything you've done. What part of hand porn is non-essential to you, my man? I love you, but you wacky sometimes. Poop Boy, let me explain. Non-essential and essential, to what they mean to me is not what they mean in the world now. So what we're seeing is the emergence of 2 new classes. We're seeing the essential class, which is the class that has to go out and brave the virus. People that are doing jobs such as working at fast food, working in retail, working at grocery stores, bank tellers, things of that nature, interacting with the public directly. And then we have non-essential jobs, which are all jobs that require us to interact with the public in a non-direct manner, meaning through the internet, over the phone, via video. And so your job, while incredibly essential to the rest of the world, is not technically essential to the economy. If your job were to disappear, no one would be affected, whereas if the Burger King employee's job were to disappear, suddenly we wouldn't be able to get Whopperitos. And as you know from listening to this beautiful broadcast, a Whopperito is one of the most essential products of your COVID-19 kit. Go get yourself a Whopperito right now. Unless you have to leave your house, you should probably just order one. Look, I'm telling you, don't leave your house ever. Definitely don't go in a public place. That's a big mistake. But hand porn being non-essential, that was just the nomenclature of society. It wasn't me. Society's insane. I believe that hand porn is incredibly important. And personally, I can't wait to support you, to subscribe to your page, and to donate to your Patreon so that maybe you can get such a wide variety of colors that you could even have an entire rainbow spectrum on your hands. Who quote? That's a great question, Anonymous. We don't know who that Anonymous was quoting. And Anonymous, I'm telling you still, I'm not touching your dirty controller. What is a Corbid? And why is there 19 of them? 8567744. Okay, so a Corbid is like a little bird. And there's 19 Corbids. Actually, okay, so the real thing is that COVID stands for Covert Identification 19. The scenario here, once again, false flag scenario. We're talking about something that happened 19 years after 9/11. Okay, so COVID-19, it's Covert Identification 19. And the idea behind this is that basically we're trying to institutionalize the future world by creating a scenario where everyone is off the roads, everyone is at their homes, we are forced to pursue technology, and this is going to allow us to enhance the time it would take to get to the future, and also we're going to get rid of some older people who are kind of holding the whole environment back. We're going to force them into scenarios to either accept or just go senile, and we're also going to basically empower the youth to never have to ever leave their homes again, because seriously, wouldn't you much prefer to have Amazon deliver everything that you ever need directly to your home rather than having to go out in public and interact with people? Now, if you're a early millennial or you're a Gen Xer hearing this, you're probably thinking, "Nah, man, I love going out in public and scratching my butt cheeks," and that's fine, and you can do that. But you're going to have to get a hazmat suit, and they're not going to be cheap. So personally, I would say if you're one of those people who just loves interaction, you love being out there, then you should be fighting to get an essential job. You should be going to a grocery store right now and getting yourself an essential job, because those are the jobs that are going to come with the hazmat suits. Everyone else is going to have to buy one. See the difference between an essential and a non-essential? An essential is going to get food for cheaper. An essential is going to get supplies for cheaper, because they're risking their lives every single day just to provide these essential services to us. A non-essential, on the other hand, may make a bit more money, may be able to sit at home and not have to spend money on things like gasoline for your vehicle or eating out at other restaurants because you have food at home. But you will have to buy supplies to leave your home. You will have to ensure that your vehicle is registered to leave your home. And eventually, once we get all the vehicles off the street, the automobile industry is going to tank like crazy. Right now, they are actually transitioning the automobile industry into a health supplies industry. GM and Ford both producing ventilators for hospitals. We have the giant white ships now. The giant white ships right off the coast of New York and going to Los Angeles as well, that are going to be taking people who are not sick with COVID, putting them on a ship. It's the stinkiest thing I've ever seen in my whole existence. But I want you to know that there's no shame in being essential, and there's no harm in being non-essential. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to be an entertainer? Do you want to be an influencer? Do you want to be a person that is consistently interacting with people in this type of scenario where you're talking to them over the internet, you're sharing pictures, you're sharing video, you're discussing topics? Or do you want to be the type of person that boxes up a cake that you just baked and gives it to some old lady? It really depends. The cake, by the way, definitely essential. People need cake. That's not a thing. Scientists are developing a new app that will allow users to pee into their cell phones to find out if they have a STD. The UK Clinical Research Collaboration is creating a smartphone app that will allow users to put urine or saliva on a computer chip about the size of a USB chip, plug it into their phone, and receive a diagnosis within minutes. Now that is going to smell great. And also, I do think peeing on your phone, great idea. As you probably have noticed within quarantine, our phones are not as valuable as they used to be. If I were going to leave my home right now, I would probably want to take my phone with me, or at least have a phone available to me, whether it was mine or someone else's that was with me. But I don't need my phone every day now. And I'm not a good example because I never carry my phone around anyway. But the idea is that beforehand, people were using their phones at a consistent rate. Now you have your computer, you have your gaming console, you're not really reaching out that much. Days are starting to blend and bleed together. And so, for the most part, your cell phone is becoming an old piece of technology. The new technology is going to all be related to virtual reality and augmented reality as it comes. And these things are going to come much, much quicker than they could have possibly come due to Kali Yuga and the end scenario. I am Cool01. Hey, Radio Man, how are you doing? Doing great. I am cool. Thank you so much. Mr. Lelsey, want to be a slice of pizza? I will set you free, baby. The Jewy, they lay Jewy. I intend to commit suicide. That's my chosen career path with an explosive vest in a densely populated area. I hate to tell you I am cool, but currently we're on quarantine, so your chances of finding a densely populated area are pretty small. Also, I do not think that it's a good idea to kill yourself, because you will die if you kill yourself. Now, Abib intends to tend, and I also intend to tend and hope that we tend for you. Just kidding, FBI. Fuck, can I delete that? I forgot you can't joke about stuff like that. I am Cool01. This is a safe space. No FBIs will be contacting you, probably, about this. But what I do want to tell you is that if you're going to do this, it's going to be very difficult for you to find crowded spaces. I would definitely suggest writing a manifesto about how people need to stay indoors due to Corona. The faster we can all get in, the faster all these changes can happen, and we can be introduced to the new world. Though honestly, I don't think it's really worthwhile. At this point, I would just say, go out and just like, just go out in public. You'll die. You will die from it, and it won't be nice, and you'll enjoy that. Now, one thing that I have noticed here is that we have the question of, is this even a real virus? Is this a fake? Is this a joke? Is this some sort of prank? And what a prank it would be. But the reality is that no one, absolutely no one, is going to shut down the economy and shut down the world over a prank. Not even the trickster himself, Donald James Trump. Okay? Do you have a burb takeover to back that up? I don't like burbs. Birds are fine, but no, I am not planning on the birds taking over. Now, I will say, there haven't been a lot of birds around here. I did hear a couple of chirping. I would be careful if they wanted to bite you. No one would be affected. Literally putting the gun to the head. Who are you quoting, Poop Boy? Guess you're quoting me. Listen, it doesn't matter if they would be affected or not. Your fans obviously would miss your beautiful hands. But as far as the world is concerned, as far as society is concerned, there are not going to be any ships that don't make it to port. There are not going to be any projects that are not fulfilled, unless, perhaps a young genius, someone like Elon Musk, and Elon Musk could then be viewing your product whenever he needs inspiration. So, in a way, non-essentials are also essential, but they're essential to a different thing. Society itself doesn't care much about human beings, right? Society was not developed for humans, or at least in its latter years. It is not about human beings. It's more about making money and making profit, and it cares about the person last. As a non-essential, the only thing you care about is people. The only thing you care about are our interactions and our mental health and our stability and our ability to be entertained and feel like we're part of a group, and that is an essential, because without that, the dread and sorrow of reality would fit in so tightly that everybody would want to be just like I am Cool01 and actually just blow themselves up in public or kill themselves some other way. Elon Musk, I love that man. I clean the toilets at the Burger Shack. Am essential. Am I essential? I am cool. You are, in fact, essential. Without you, the toilets would not be clean, and therefore they would be dirty. That is not good. We need our toilets to be spick and span, especially at this time. But for you especially, you're definitely going to want to wear gloves. Okay? I hope that you wear gloves for this. You're absolutely going to want to make sure that you're washing your hands up to the elbow every single time you get out of one of those bathrooms. And please do not interact with feces. As we said before, this virus can be spread when aerosolized. So if you see someone take a poop, you need to wait a long time before you go in that bathroom to clean it, because it can infect your lungs. Now, I'm going to say this, that you are going to have an immune system like a crazy cow as long as you continue to work in the essential job you do, and my hat off to you for the essentiality. I believe that you will soon be getting a very, very, very nice pay raise from $7 all the way up to maybe even $12 or $13. So get ready, because it's going to be lit. Now, is it cool to be gay, Mr. Lelsey asks? Well, gay just means happy. So it is cool to be happy, but the way that I see it is we all have gayness, like a scale of gayness. So one day I might wake up not feeling very gay. As I walk through my day, I have a few interactions. Makes me feel a little gayer, And then maybe one night I'll watch a movie and it does not make me feel gay at all. But, after ruminating on it and kind of reflecting and sensing what the difference is, then I start to bring a little gayness back. And, one important thing about gayness is that gayness comes from inside of you. So it's not necessarily something that you have to get from the outside world. If you just close your eyes, you can bring your gayness level higher and higher just by thinking. You know, it takes a lot of muscles to smile. It doesn't take that many to frown. And that's a sub-quote from some other crap that I read on the internet. But basically, smiling is a complex display on your face. And what I'd like you to do, and everyone can do this if you want to, is just close your eyes. I want you to breathe and exhale. And do this a few times. And you're feeling all your energy build up in your lungs. All that negative energy, and then you're blowing it out. And after you're done doing these inhalations and exhalations, I want you to slowly bring a smile onto your face. And smile bigger and bigger. And bring that gayness out. Put that gayness out to the world and make yourself the gayest that you can be. And then hold on to that feeling. Hold on to the gay. And the more gay that you are, and the longer that you stay gay, the easier it will be for you to be gay in the future. Feces Obama, be careful. Don't smell Obama. You might get COVID-19. My boss and my coworker spit at me all the time. It's nothing to do with coronavirus. They've been doing it for years. I am Cool01. I'm going to say that you probably should look into some sort of non-essential career. I know that you're kind of batting down on this one, but either you need to look into an essential career or a non-essential career where you don't have to interact with human beings in the face, or even better, what you should probably do is just quit that job and go find another one. Right now, every job that's out there that is an essential position is hiring, for sure. And so, it's very, very important to actually get out of that position and don't let people spit on you, because again, you can carry this virus from anywhere to 2 to 4 weeks without showing any symptoms, and it's very, very likely that you will contract the virus if you continue to allow your superiors to spit on you, as well interacting with feces on a daily basis. Feces Obama. Do you do the gay with a man? The answer is seeked in the solution. You can do the gay with yourself. You can do the gay with others. It's all about perception, really. Now, post number 8567758, post this beautiful image of a home. This is a brown home. It seems to be made of some form of wood. It actually may be a church of some kind. And actually, interestingly enough, so there is a cemetery around this, making me think it is a church. If you look at this image, it actually has a weathercock at the top. Fucking love weathercocks. This is the Stave Church. Now, look. At the top here, you're going to see that they have these little crosses. And from the crosses come these little rods. And the entire purpose of this is actually that these rods collect static electricity from the air, and they actually tunnel down through the cones at the top of these steeples and actually produce a sort of electromagnetic force inside to stave away things like viruses and sickness. So all classical buildings are built with these types of structures where you'll see these rods going up into the air, and that is to create a static environment inside of the building to keep bugs and sicknesses out of those buildings. The more you know, folks. The more you know. We have another post by Poop Boy here, beautiful typewriter, and it says, as a senior citizen, I'm not sure that I'm liking this Zoomer virus, to be frank with you, familia. Well, I'll tell you, Miss Senior Citizen, you need to be very, very careful with the world right now. You need to make sure that your interactions are very, very minor and meager. Don't interact with any young people. They are not going to be very helpful to you, especially because younger folks seem to carry viruses a lot because they are kind of less functional in the immune category. As the Poop Boy, I would assume that you have an immaculate immune system, so I wouldn't be too worried. But go ahead, eat some calcium, eat some vitamin C. Make sure you're taking your 1 a day. Make sure you eat your fiber 1 as well, because we all know if you don't eat fiber 1, it gets a little messy back there. But like I said earlier, if you don't have any toilet paper, just go ahead and use the shower. I would go ahead and restrict your shopping experience to 1 time a week if you can. I know it's going to be tough for you to bring all of those groceries in, but perhaps you could pay one of your neighbors to assist you, somebody in the same type of age range as you, and that way, if they're in their 50s, I know they're a bit of a youngster comparatively. But if they're in their 50s, they can certainly help you bring your groceries up, and then you don't have to worry about contracting it from those dang Zoomers. Millennials are also nice. They'll probably help you out, but the millennial is always going to know in the back of their mind that they might actually be killing you, because unlike all of the other generations present in the world right now, they actually have a moral compass and a conscience. So it's very, very tough to be a millennial these days. They will help you, but just know if you contract the virus that you're going to make them feel very, very insecure about it, and it's probably going to hurt their feelings a lot. But, it's not about them. It's about you, right? Now, we got an image here of some squirrel eating spaghetti. Now, this squirrel seems to be very much enjoying this spaghetti. As a response, Anonymous has gone ahead and posted of a deer sleeping on its own back, waking up, looking surprised, oh my heavens, chewing on its own fur, licking itself. This doe is looking cute faux show. I love it very much, and I want it to be my best friend. Go and check it out. Post 8567803. Back to that squirrel, 8567762. Nice sevens there. This squirrel is just enjoying pasta. I can't blame the squirrel. I used to eat pasta. I used to like it very much. Can't eat pasta anymore because it's not good for my body. And honestly, it's not good for your body either. But hey, that's not your fault. Don't talk to me until I've had my Ritalin, Vyvanse, Focalin, Concerta. Friend, don't do drugs. 8567663. Don't do what was that? 8567763. Got tripped up on those sick dubs. Don't take drugs unless you're prescribed drugs. But even if you are prescribed drugs, maybe you should consider not taking drugs, because if we head toward a Mad Max apocalypse, you're going to have to be very careful with what type of drugs. I'm just kidding. We're not heading toward a Mad Max apocalypse. We're heading toward like a Blade Runner style dystopian future. And so most likely you'll be able to wake up and immediately just shoot your Ritalin right into your neck, and then you'll be just jazzed up for the rest of the day. So look forward to that. That's going to be a great outcome for you. Now, we still don't have quads in this thread. Unfortunately, we did miss the quad 7s. We cannot defeat this tax master yet, and they are getting closer and closer to the little piglets, the little teacup piglets. Oh, no, I'm so scared. Are people even going out shopping? I entered hermit mode 3 weeks ago, and I haven't left my house. There are lots of guns and ammunition here, American flag. I also see a rebel flag, and it looks like a Conco hat. Actually, yes, my friend, people are going out and shopping. Something that you need to recognize is that for the vast majority of folks, this thing is not necessarily a reality. It's slowly starting to become more real, but folks are out shopping. They're out buying supplies. Some folks haven't stocked up yet. And so there are people out there, and even being out on the roads, you can see that traffic is minimal, but still it is fairly heavy. And this is also what confuses me too, is that eventually there will be true lockdown orders, where there will be checkpoints set up. And if you get in your vehicle to drive, you will absolutely be stopped by some sort of police officer, military officer, National Guard, whatever it is. And they will know where you're going. They will clock you on it, and they'll be able to tell you whether or not you're allowed to go there, to be perfectly frank. And when that happens, that's when we're going to see that the true lockdown starts. We're going to start seeing rations delivered to our doors. We're going to start seeing rations delivered via drone from Amazon. And other things like that. And that's when all of your essential businesses are going to start going away, right? Like last week, you still had coffee shops open, but this week coffee shops are starting to close, which is good. You shouldn't be sitting around a coffee shop when there's a frickin' pandemic outside. Same thing with restaurants. We're seeing that restaurants are all going to takeout. Eventually, restaurants will also close down because somebody in that restaurant could be a 2-week carrier, and they could pass along that virus to anybody that they're making food for, and they're making food for hundreds of people. This is a huge, monumental change in the way that life is, especially for a fat American diabetic. And that's another topic here. This virus mostly affects the elderly. That's the way that it was implanted at the beginning. But we're starting to find that it's actually affecting other people as well. In China, for example, they have less cases of diabetes and obesity in their timeline, their human life time span. Here in America, it's basically a given. that you're going to have obesity, you're going to have diabetes, you're going to have some sort of affliction by the time you're 30 years old because you've lived in an environment where you never had to worry about that. And unfortunately, this virus will affect those people more intensely and potentially even kill people like that. And so we really, really, really are going to have to be careful, and when the true lockdown comes, we're going to be sitting in our houses enjoying it. I would have to say, as a member of S4S and the internet community, you're probably enjoying this whole thing. I know that I personally have seen an uptick in the non-essential work that I'm doing. Things seem to be flowing easier. I can work from my bed if I choose. But on top of that, I'm also spending more time with my family. I'm getting some things done around the house that have needed to been done for quite a long time. And I'm actually being able to spend more time on projects such as this nice radio and other things. So just remember that, as well as you can, go out, get supplies, stock up on canned goods, non-perishable goods. Start cooking at home. The less people that handle your food, the better. Wash your food before you eat it. Not like after you've cooked it. Wash it before you cook it. And just try to enjoy this time of peace away from all the calamity. Because when things start getting tough, we're going to have a lot more to worry about than whether or not we can get our Whopperito. Now I'm going to play another quick song for you because I need to get a little hydrated. This song is going to come from our beautiful Autistic Screeching of Lovely Nice Music. This is a great album that came out just recently. It is a compilation disc that has 133 tracks. Lots of great music from our last 5 albums. I hope that you'll enjoy it. s4s.bandcamp.com, esfores.bandcamp.com, a wonderful place to find. Here's a great song that I love very, very much. This is Marshmallow by Keck IRC, and you are listening to Nice Radio.
Marshmallow. 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 Marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
no! The Taxmaster has devoured the pigs!
This is a nice board, whatever that means to you. I hope you only come because you want to. This board is a sacred place for fun and you'll see. The puzzle pictures are just like the miniature and the shapes like the soul can be set free. There's Animator, and you can be who you are. Real Animator, and they will always love you. These Animator, except the most are Animator. They need to encourage you. They're always watching. I swear they'll never let you go. It's the part of the song. It's the part of the song where you just go crazy. You just dance your little butts off. Go out and have some sexual intercourse with an animated woman. As long as she was animated at least 18 years ago. Nice Animator. Lead us to the fifth dimension. Cause Animator. It's called the presence of Animator. They're always watching. I swear they'll never let you So what's left to say to the board today? Are you gonna go, or is it too gay? If you stop being such a homophobe prick and check your privilege, I know you'll see the benefit. Real Animator. So love Animator. It's all a revolution. Animator. So same Animator. Never disappoint you. 'Cause Animator. Nice Animator. It's so much better. Yes. I love you, Animator.
And we're back here on Nice Radio. Thank you so much for the following Le Painting Girl and Abib. I wasn't expecting you to say yes, but I would actually really love to be on your show. I am Cool01. You can be on the show as well. Anyone can be on this program. All you have to do is send me a phone call via email. I like a ride the choo-choo at gmail.com is my email address. We also do have the Nice Discord channel. YMEW8 is the invite code. I'll go ahead and type that here in the area. And you can go and get that information if you want to join the Discord channel. I am there, LRM. I am very happy to communicate with you in any form or fashion. I would love to play your segments on the radio program if you have special information to provide me, or you'd just like to kind of share your story. We are here. You can also, in the thread, post a Vokaru link. I'll be more than happy to play whatever it is that you send over to me from that link. Please no really rude or really lewd content, because it affects me very much. I have my son here. Hello! And everybody knows he's a very special child. I am special, and I don't want him being influenced in any negative ways. So we have a few questions from the thread here. Is Covert-19 an STD? Now, this is an off-by-one post. You almost killed the Taxmaster. Unfortunately, the Taxmaster did eliminate the teacup pigs. I'm sorry. everyone. We just couldn't save them this time. But I do want to say that COVID-19, or COVID-19 as some are calling it, it can actually be distributed via sexual transmission. It is with bodily fluids. So while it is mostly a respiratory disease, it's a virus, and therefore any sort of mucous membrane in your body can produce COVID. So yes, absolutely, you can get this from a lewd interaction. What's sexual? I wouldn't worry about that, Daniel. You know, I'm not even certain that you'll ever be able to interact in a sexual manner. What do you mean? Well, chances are pretty good that by the time you grow to a, birthing age. Birthing? Yeah, when two people love each other and the mommy and the daddy, they make a baby. Okay. And so for you, that's probably not going to happen. Why not? Well, the dangerous virus is out there. So what we're probably going to see instead is that your seed will be harvested, and it will be put into some sort of in capsule. What seed? Anyway, the robot is going to be your wife. So, I don't understand. Well, one day you will. And, I will be here most likely to assist you because we are not going to be leaving this house anytime soon. Okay? Yes, Daddy. Gosh. You don't have to call me Daddy on the radio. That's embarrassing. Sorry. Is it true that two males, female, cannot create a baby? Well, it really depends. The idea behind a man and a woman making a baby is that the man has to inject his seed, Daniel, into the lady, and it has to actually proceed inside and reach her egg and fertilize it. Now, if there are no eggs, or there is no seed, then there cannot be baby form. So, technically, you still can. One way is to use a robot, as I was just explaining to Daniel. Another way would be to perhaps have a surrogate, where basically we just do like a three-way pound, right? So like it's like two at once inside of the same entranceway. This is confusing. Okay, so like you put them together and you put them both in at the same time, right? And then the action happens. Action is going to happen, and the action's going on, and then blam, the spurge happens at the same time. And if you're very lucky, you could have twins. So there are ways to make this thing happen, but you really, really have to work hard for it. I believe in you. Be careful not to get STDs. One note here, you can't have babies and use a condom most of the time, and a condom is really only the safe way to have intercourse with a covert 19. What's intercourse? You know what, Daniel? Why don't you go and play? Okay, Daddy. The boy's not ready. He's just not really ready to live in Caliuga, but this was my decision. It's an empty egg carton. It's just the number of high-top Chuck Taylors you ordered in 2011, says Anonymous. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he's talking about COVID-19. That's how many high-top Chuck Taylors I ordered in 2011. I'm not sure. I still use my phone every day, says Anonymous 8567784. I like to look at YouTube when I'm on the toilet doing a poopy. That's all I use it for now. And this image actually has Freddy Krueger lighting cigarettes for some young people. The question did come in, why is Freddy Krueger being so nice on your Elm Street? I think the reason is that, in a time like this, there's no time for haunting nightmares. The real thing that needs to be done is we need to take care of each other, we need to love each other. Now, smoking cigarettes, not very good. Because smoking cigarettes, of course, make your lungs weak, and this is a lung disease. So, not only that, but Philip Morris Company has stopped producing tobacco products. If you out there are addicted to tobacco products, I would highly suggest using this time of quarantine to get yourself off those icky sticks, because they are not going to be available for you for very much longer. But the message behind this post is that, everybody needs to realize that technology is something that we are going to need to transition from being a mobile type of on-the-go device, and it's going to become something that we use within our homes even more prevalently than we do now. For the average, you use your technology for watching videos, watching movies, playing video games, and interacting with folks that you know. But in the very near future, we're not only going to be doing those forms of interaction, but we're going to be going even deeper, where workplaces and meetings are going to start happening online more and more frequently. With this year, we're going to be having Facebook Horizons, which is the Mark Zuckerberg version of a virtual reality sphere, in which everyone and their mothers will be able to get onto Facebook, and they'll be able to interact with each other in a perceived 3D environment. And this is one of the big instances of what is going to happen due to COVID-19. It will not be very long until this happens, a few months at maximum. It will happen after all of the essential jobs begin to disappear, once we actually have our unemployment checks coming out and people are supporting themselves just barely on those unemployment checks. What we're going to see is, first of all, Elon Musk himself has launched hundreds and hundreds of satellites around the globe and continues to launch. He has been approved for over 1 million satellites to be launched into space to create a global internet network called Starlink. After a brief test, when Starlink is actually capable of providing internet to the entire world, our internet as we know it will be shut down. And there will be a few days, from what we've heard, 10 days of darkness, where we will have no internet, we will have no television, the entire grid will go down, but we'll probably still have electricity. Now, during this time, all military targets that have ever been bespoken will quickly and swiftly be persecuted and finalized. Our military will come home, and they will begin restructuring the infrastructure of this country, building housing projects for those who do not have homes, the homeless, living in a pandemic. They will also begin construction of the superhighway system. As our economy collapses, we'll be able to retcon Canada and Mexico and create one North American Free Trade Association. We'll build a superhighway system around it. And around that superhighway system, we will build buildings and homes for folks that do not have homes. Government-issued homes. Mark Zuckerberg will come out and he will announce Facebook Horizon. He will announce that on Facebook Horizon, you will be able to gain a monetary value simply for interacting and following community standards. All YouTube, etc. streaming services will be pointed toward Facebook, which will now be associated with a real ID. This is why Facebook for years has required a real name. As Facebook VR kicks off, companies will transition over to Facebook. Every interaction that you have on that system will be completely recorded and monitored. You will have a record of everything that you've done. So beyond even what the NSA is doing with cellular devices, computing devices, keeping track of you from CCTV cameras and other resources, you will now have every work-related interaction completely and absolutely totally recorded in real time and three-dimensionally. As well, it will be associated with you, who you are. And so you have to be very, very careful on this new internet. And speaking of new internet, the idea is that when Starlink does come online, after the 10 days of darkness, we will have to download something or receive. Perhaps it will be just like the discs of olden days, probably will be a USB at this point. But that USB will come in and you will install an executable file, and from there you will be able to access the internet, but it will look much different. You'll have a few buttons on the sideline, there will be no search bar, and only approved websites will be available through your Internet 3.0 environment. It is literally the seizing of the internet and the replacing of it with something that can be controlled and monitored at a constant rate, where data can flow from one place. We won't have to worry about all these conflicting informations coming in and fake news, as it's been termed. Instead, there will just be one news source, the state's news source. And this is the most Orwellian, frightening thing that could possibly ever occur, and yet indeed it is going to be a reality in the very near future. Now, I would also like to state that this sort of system may eventually have capabilities of browsing outside of the registered applications. But it's going to cost you. And not only that, but it will still be monitored through the system and regulated. Our greatest hope is that those who invented the internet will come back and create a new internet for all of us to enjoy. But the chances of it coming online any soon are very, very small. And what this all means is that the world that we once existed in, the world of driving to an office, sitting in an office, spending our time there, and then coming home, that world is now going to be meshed into our home worlds. We are going to have very little interaction outside. And due to that, due to the social nature of the human being, we will have to have these interactions more and more frequently to maintain our own sanity. These are prospects that are coming. Beyond this are microchips. Zuckerberg has said that we would wear a wristband that would be able to allow us to interact with our minds, with our technology. And Elon Musk has talked about implanting microchips into your brain. These are steps that will occur within the next 10 years. Your acceptance of these, or the extent that you would like to follow them, is completely based on your own preference. But the COVID-19 virus, and you should behave as if this virus is real, but whether it's real or not, it is being used as a catalyst to implant the future of society right here today. The Army Corps of Engineers is setting up all around the United States right now. The National Guard has been deployed. Once we are done with our 10 days of darkness and the Army returns here, the building structures for the NAFTA superhighway and super train system will begin. People will be contracted to work here. They will have hazmat gear just as needed. And they will be tested every single day to make sure they do not have the virus. On top of this, we're also going to have the very wonderful conceptualizations of the thing I can't remember. It's there. I promise you it's there. Ah, yes. The rebuilding of the infrastructure, the rebuilding of the highway system, the rebuilding of the housing system, and an all-out restructuring of the way that our lives are experienced. Once all the vehicles are off the road, we don't have cars out there driving, we don't have essential people needing to drive. Instead of trucks, we're using distribution centers. The Army Corps of Engineers will come and bolster all of these distribution centers. They will help Amazon and companies like Amazon, Walmart, big grocery chains build these distribution centers. They're going to mechanize and bring robotics in to completely do all of stocking, shipping, packaging, all in a sterile environment that does not require a human being that could potentially cough on something and infect others. These distribution centers will either be handled by military, but eventually will be handled by drone operators or automatic drones. You will place a mat into your yard, a drone will come and land there and deliver you your supplies that you've ordered. This is a great change in the way that we currently view the world, and it is going to be done under the mask of protecting us from this virus. Now, even if we ever do return to some sort of normal state of being, this virus is not going away, and we can't expect to have a pandemic season once a year, where for 2 or 3 months we shut ourselves in our house and only essential employees leave. Now, we'll get better and better at it, but I assume instead that we are going to transition ourselves into the future of stay-at-home work, and that is what we have to look forward to. That instead of interacting with people in a physical space, we interact with them in a digital space. And I think that everyone here is more than ready for that digital reality and lifestyle. No egg radio. We don't have any eggs around here. Sorry, no eggs. Robot are still human being. That's very true, but robots cannot contract viruses. So, if the robot does not have the virus, then the robot can still be out there as essential as ever and have a great and wonderful time. Please do not feed the birds. Feeding creates a dependent population that is a potential health hazard and makes a costly mess. That is a really good piece of information there, Anonymous. Thank you, 8567787. Oh, my goodness. 10 hours of howling wind. You can look at this video on the internet. Do not interact with feces, man. I am hating this episode. Listen, you need to be careful with the feces that you're interacting with. As I already said, Poop Boy, you have a very, very, very strong immune system, and so obviously my statement was not meant for you. But for others who are not normally used to interacting with you, they're definitely going to wear face masks and definitely going to want to handle you with care, because they could contract this virus from your fecal matter. And I'm sorry to say so. I can't believe the radio man wants to keep all the feces to himself. Who does he think he is? Racist is what he is. Dad works for Nasser. Listen, I am not a racist against poops or poop boys. In fact, pooping is one of the greatest joys in my whole life, and it brings me more pleasure than you could possibly ever imagine. What I'm saying is, we're in a pandemic here, people. Things have to change. We can't just be willy-nilly flinging around the doo-doo everywhere like we're used to. Okay? We got to take some time. We got to put some effort in to make sure that we are stopping the spread. You might not think it's a big deal because you're always covered in poop. But what happens when you interact with somebody who interacts with an elder who now gets the poop virus because you spread poop everywhere? 3 weeks ago, a couple of months ago, we didn't have to worry about this. And I would have been right there with you enjoying poop and gaining great pleasure in it. But unfortunately, we live in different times, and we need to take control over what's happening, and we need to build ourselves up to be stronger. The only way to do that is if we start jarring our poops and waiting 3 days, because it can live on the surface for up to 3 days. So you take your poop, you put it in a jar. I know you probably already have a poop jar. We're going to need to get a lot more jars. So go ahead and order those off of Amazon. They are essential products. You're going to poop in the jar. You're going to store the jar for 3 days in a warm environment. We want it to be at least 70 to 80 degrees. Once we have that going on, after 3 days, you can do whatever you'd like with the feces. It's the immediate interaction with feces that needs to stop. I wonder how many muscles it takes to urinate in a wine glass. Now, that's a very good question. Actually, there's one major muscle that causes the urination, and that is the prostate muscle. So probably just one, but really the question should be how much urine does it take to fill a wine glass? And I think that right now on quarantine we have the time to find out those answers. Do you ever wonder how much pee has been peed since the beginning of humanity? Would it fill the ocean? Is the moisture in the air all old pee? Anonymous 8567820 asks. Now, Poop Boy says that they constantly ask this question, and I believe that Poop Boy does that. Here's the truth. All of the atmosphere that we have on this earth, and all of the water that we have beneath the surface is all liquid. We, too, are made primarily of liquid. And due to this, you can assume that pee, as a liquid, is just another part of what we are. We are part of this planet. So yes, the pee constantly circulates and it brings us life. You have blood and you have pee, and then in between there you have feces. And when those three combine, that makes a man. And so never forget who you are and where you came from. Anonymous 8567812 says, I was going to panic buy, but I went to the store and nothing seemed panicky, so I just bought a few necessities. And it seems like they have a big, big jar of Clorox that they're drinking. That's going to be healthy for you in the short term, not so much in the long term. Very good for killing coronavirus, though. So excellent job. I think that it's okay to do this, to make sure that you're just buying necessities. We don't need to be panic buying anything. But I would suggest every time you go out, just buying some, essential products, things like canned goods, things of that nature, so that you can, in fact, enjoy that if the time does come that you're no longer able to escape. I do have to tell you, though, that most likely there will be distribution centers for rationed items. We're starting to see that grocery stores are having rationed items out there, and at some point you're going to be receiving a pallet of your rations per day. If you're whoever owns your home or you haven't received your census yet, which the census went out right around the time that COVID-19 first appeared in the mainstream media in the United States, that is going to determine the amount of supplies that you receive at your home. So if you haven't done that yet, I would highly suggest it. They are going to have men in masks coming to your house to make you fill out the census. As well, they will have men in masks. This was announced yesterday that in New York and in some parts of Texas and Rhode Island, they are going to be going door to door to interact with folks. So I would highly suggest, if you're doing anything illegal, to make sure that it is easy to hide those things. As well, live to fight another day. Do not die on the first hill. This is not the end of this struggle, and we will get through this together. Just remember to be nice. And if your dad works for NASA, please get your dad to explain how we got through the Van Allen belts, because I think it's a bunch of BS. Eat orange for vitamin C. That is a very good piece of information there. I really do love oranges, and even more than that, I love vitamin C. It's one of the greatest vitamins that I've ever seen in my whole life. It makes me very happy. You can also get vitamin C pills that you can eat. I personally have the chewable ones because I love them. They're so fun to chew in your mouth, and it's very good for your immune system. Thank you, Le Painting Grill, and your image is just absolutely stunning. I love it. Now, Yuji Sakai is asking about birds once again. We see that the birds are spinning. Please be careful with those birds. Once again, do not feed them. It's just going to make a mess. I fucking love rods. 8567822. Good dubs. Excellent job. Thanks, baby. I love you. 8567841. Thank you for thinking. 8567826. And thank you, 8567826, for checking those doubles. They are brilliant, and I'm glad you love rods. Everybody loves rods. Get your Rhoda on. That man got the Rona. We got channels for banner. This young man lifting a chair into the air with his own foot. Quite a feat of strength here. 8567827. Go check that out. The birds are spinning. Once again, Mobstad's son in argument over birds. Don't forget, birds are not that important. As well, bird chirp, burb. Gotta call, gotcha catch a calls, gotta catch a whale, waka woody wham. We got Vlad the Inhaler here. This is an inhaler that's actually Vlad. Don't forget to be Vlad. Don't be mad, be Vlad. Our Winco has these weird spastic bouts where they make everyone line up, emit 5 at a time. Sometimes you can shop normal, sometimes it's the queue. Now this is a very interesting piece of information. I actually have a friend who is the manager of a store in Austin, Texas. Now, in Austin, a week ago, he started having issues where he would actually have to test all of his employees. So whenever they came to work, he would have to scan their temperature. If they were over a normal temperature, he would have to send them home, report them to the authorities, and basically say, you can't come back until you're well, until you no longer have a temperature. Or, well, you have a temperature, but not one that is over the expected temperature. Now, this week, he actually has to restrict his store to 20 shoppers at a time and a minimal amount of employees. So that means that there is a giant line formed outside of his store. And anytime someone comes in, he has to also thermal scan them. And if they have a high enough temperature, he has to report it to the authorities and send them away. And so they are attempting to lock down the front ends of stores. This is why I'm saying it is only an eventuality that we will have all of these processes and distribution centers created to start distributing goods and these robots to come in free from corona so that we can escape this disease. So whether or not you get it, whether or not you die from it, you have to know that the idea is that we are going to the future in record speed, and that by 2021, the world will have so dramatically changed that we will barely even recognize it. What if a robot gets a computer virus? Well, that is a really good point. One good thing about computer viruses is they can't infect people yet, but once we get chips in our heads, that is going to be a really big deal. Now, I'd like to think that dealing with this corona epidemic is going to make us more aware of computer viruses, and maybe we will actually take some actions toward preventing them in the future. But the best thing that I can advise you is just get a condom and wrap it around your network provider. Okay? So whether it's your Cox router or whether it's your wireless card, whatever it is, be sure to use protection on that because you do not want to be giving your computer a virus that eventually transfers to your brain computer chip. That's not good. Frog poster are not human. That's racist. Absolutely, frog posters are human and frog. It shouldn't be against frog posters. In fact, the frog posters are going to be some of the saddest people in the world right now. Because now, technically, frog posters are all normies. Since we're all quarantined in the house and we're all having to do things in the digital realms, technically the normie doesn't exist anymore. The only normies are essentials, and even essentials don't want to be normies anymore. So let's just get beyond this. Let's just move beyond it and just love each other. We are going to need each other to get through this event. And I love you all dearly. Now, Anonymous just coughed, 856-7858. Anonymous, please be careful. The FBI is opening up your door right now. I hope that you're still listening to the program. If you're not, please get yourself some cough drops. And for the love of heaven, do not cough in public. If you have to cough, just hold it in. Suppress it. You don't want somebody beating you up just for coughing. Go home, cough on your own stuff. It's okay to reinfect yourself. Now, according to Anonymous 856-7867, 3.8 well, I think I got a little tongue-tied there. We have this great image here, which I'll add while we're reading this long, long post. And I'm going to go ahead and take a hot suck of water. Ah, yes. If you're not drinking any water, please go ahead and just give yourself that luxury. Okay, you deserve it. Ah, you deserve it. We all deserve it. We really do. We deserve to have water. People deserve to have water. That is an undisputable fact, and you can't tell me any different. Because people are water, so it's basically like you are allowed to be yourself, and I agree. You should be yourself at all times. Now, back to the thread. The anonymous poster 856-7867 says, detected 702,369 cases. That is 40,000 cases more than yesterday. We have had 33,178 deaths, or 2,300 more than yesterday. 3.8 billion people have been put under lockdown. 202 countries and territories are infected. 79% more confirmed deaths than the swine flu in all of 2009 through 10. 2,058 different strains have been sequenced. This is absolute insanity. Now, there are a lot of little articles here. I'm not going to read all of these, but just to read the news, police in Philippines put lockdown violators in dog cages. Brazil state has 0 official deaths, but mortuaries are already collapsed. Report of atypical pneumonia deaths in Mexico embarrass health secretary. Christian pastor who said pandemic was mass hysteria dies from the virus, and 10% of Wuhan cases get reinfected after recovery. In research, we have a 23-year-old football player dies in Iran, 17-year-old in the U.S. dies after being denied treatment, virus hides in neurons, indefinitely escapes recognition, 14% of recovered in Guangdong test positive again, and children die from the corona, the WHO confirms. Now, I just want to say...
we have seen children die from this infection.
I just want to say that part of this here, hiding in the neurons, something that I read yesterday is that this is a nerve agent, meaning that this thing actually infects your nervous system. It's going to affect different things such as your sense of smell, sense of taste, but it also is going to cause spasms and seizures in people who are dying from this thing. So we really... I don't know how you treat your nervous system. Anybody know how to put medicine in your nerves? They seem kind of small. Now, we do have reminders in this thread as well. Infected in India only discovered post-mortem. So in India, they haven't had any positive tests, but they have seen COVID-19 in some bodies. China regularly changes report due to hiding numbers. We know that the CCCP kind of delivers their own... information, or the CCP delivers their own information, and this is part of the main narrative here, is that there's so much disinformation out here that it's very difficult for us to differentiate between what is true and what is just make-believe. Now, here's something interesting. On our last show, we actually talked about how do we know the difference between fake news and real news. And yesterday, I saw that our president here in the United States, Donald Trump, did make a post about it. And if I can find it, I will share it with you. But the general idea here is that fake news can be determined in a pretty simple way. When we're looking at news and the news says things like, sources say, right, just to read this quote here, one of the reasons that fake news has become so prevalent and far-reaching is the fact that corrupt journalists base their stories on sources that they make up in order to totally distort a narrative or story. When you see 5 sources say, don't believe the story, it is very often fake news. Lamestream media should be forced to reveal sources, very much as they did in the long ago past. If they did that, the media would be trusted again, and fake news would largely be a thing of the past. This is absolutely factual. It is so easy right now to produce a story, to produce some sort of hyped up story, and something else you need to realize is that news organizations are businesses that want you to tune in, they want you to continue to interacting with their product, they want you to come back, and so everything becomes a scandal, everything becomes a breaking news story, to now being at this point where we are experiencing this pandemic and we can't even believe it's true. We don't even know if it's true. It is truly a brilliant time to be alive, a scary time to be living, and even more so, just an eye-opening, wondrous moment in entertainment and media. After this, after all of the dust settles, sources will be required on everything because you're going to be out of compliance. You're going to be shut down. Once Internet 3.0 comes online, you will not be able to share sources that are outside of what the current narrative of the state is. And whether that narrative is correct or not will never be known because other narratives will not be accessible. Posting about those narratives will get you flagged. Trying to access those narratives will get you blocked and banned. And so if you want to continue your lifestyle, you will accept the narrative given by the state. And ladies and germs, my beautiful, wonderful, well, maybe I shouldn't say germs at a time like this. Well, germs are okay, but viruses are bad. But anyway, ladies, it's getting real. We have this little YouTube video. Vanessa Hudgens doesn't care if people die from the coronavirus.
Yeah, till July sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. But, like, it's a virus. I get it. Like, I respect it. But at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but, like, inevitable? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now.
Now, I gotta say, while this anonymous responds, I love you. If you enjoyed the video, please pick up my new autobiography. Get my memoir at PerezHiltonBook.com and also listen to my podcast for even more good stuff. Check on the Perez Hilton Podcast with Chris Booker on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or directly on PerezPodcast.com. And if you want your video from me, get a personalized shout-out on Starsona.com/PerezHilton. You know, the interesting thing about this video is I think this is an attempt to come to terms with what's going on. Seems like we're having some lag here. Give me one moment, please. And we are back here on Nice Radio. Hopefully our lag is going away. It doesn't seem like it is. Still working on it. Please give me a moment. Okay, I believe we are back online now. Thank you so much, Tumathak, the IRC, for bringing that to my attention. Folks, we are back. I hope you didn't miss too much. Here in the stream, if you folks could tell me the last thing we were, I guess, talking about before it started getting bad. And thank you again, Tumathak of the Corridors, for your brilliant exposition in assisting me in getting my stream back online. What we were discussing is Vanessa Hudgens saying that she doesn't really care if people die from the virus because it's inevitable. And this is a way of coping with what we're dealing with today. No matter how safe you try to be, no matter how many masks or gloves you wear, the chances of infection are incredibly high. And even if you never experience any symptoms, everyone will most likely get this virus. And so saying that you're not that worried about people dying about it is a way of coping with the fact that people will die from it, keeping your mind away and keeping your ideas to yourself is going to be something that is going to help you cope with the inevitable future. Hundreds of thousands dead, perhaps, millions dead in some scenes, some discussions that are being had. And we can't know. We won't know. But allowing ourselves to become downtrodden is going to also lower our immunities, and so we need to keep each other strong. And that is a big portion of what this radio broadcast can actually bring to us, is it can bring us together, and it can make us stronger. We need each other. Human beings are social creatures. We need to support each other during this time. Just don't do it in the face. Don't do it with kissing or hugging. And for heaven's sakes, if you're going to rub poop on somebody, be sure you put it in a jar for 3 days so that it doesn't reinfect. Now, speaking of, Poop Boy has this great tutorial on how to wash your hands. This is a coronavirus exclusive, so we're going to check that out. We also have another one from earlier that I'll slap up on the screen here so we can see the process of washing our hands in 2 different opinions. So here we have the wet hands with water, apply enough soap to cover all hard surfaces, blah, blah, blah. And then we have the Poop Boy version, which is going to be much, much more specific because it is absolutely about only coronavirus. This is going to turn the water on with your mouth so your dirty hands do not touch the tap. We're going to have use your teeth to remove any dirt from under your fingernails. We're also going to gently wipe each finger with a tiny wet cloth for 1 second and then dry your clean hands on a child's hair. These are all steps that we can take to ensure that we are keeping our hands very clean. And these are very important things. This is not just some sort of, false flag. This is a real thing that you can do to keep yourself clean, not only today, but also in the future. It's not just about staying clean for corona. It's about staying clean for life. So I'm going to leave these tutorials up here. I'm going to go take another quick suck of water, and I will be right back on this beautiful radio program. Thank you to everyone within the Discord. Thank you for everyone within the D live stream. Currently, we have 22 listeners. Excellent job. I am cool. Thank you for following, as well everyone on the thread. I am working my best to get through all these posts, and thank you so much for participating in this nice radio broadcast. This is Lay Radio Man, and we are listening to some beautiful tunes from our most recent OC compilation, The Autistic Screeching of Loverly Nice Music. This is Keckstein's I Love You More Than I Love S4S. I am Lay Radio Man, and you are listening to Nice Radio.
If I could never embrace you, I would cry, cry, cry like a butterfly. To satisfy my love, I would act, act, act like a power plant. If I should
We are back here on Nice Radio. Thank you so much for tuning into the program. We do have some delicious doubles here. Poop Boy says 856-7877 when Danny posts. And we have some beautiful images of Daniel. Daniel! Daniel! Yes, father! They're posting about you, son. That's Evan! Yes, it usually is. So, Daniel, maybe you want to just do this next segment? I know that you have some opinions about the COVID-19. COVID-19? I'm not even 8 years old yet. Not even 8 years old, but you are beautiful and wonderful, and everybody loves you, as is evidenced by these two wonderful images. So, anyway, you want to take it away? Hey there, everybody, it's me, Daniel, and I have been enjoying this program from far away. First boy, poop boy, boop boy, doop boy. I want to thank you for them double digits. They're beautiful and wonderful, and they make me smile. Ski with Tesco Value Lazade, blistered my blend. The shopper has vowed to never again set food in the Tesco store after he severely burned his blend with bonking one of the trouble change lasagnes. Dang, don't do that. Burning your bang with sling lasagne is not good. Poop boy 8567885. Beautiful job. Thank you, Anonymous, again. 8567881. Good 8, but not quite. Double digits. Dubs confirm my thought exactly. Figling, thank you so much for being a beautiful. And Dub 8, look at this. Poop boy 8567887. Dang, a reverse polydub. That is beautiful. And then right here next to it, oh my heavens, Anonymous 8567888. Dad, put the anime on the screen. Okay, hold on. Put it on the screen. It's important. This animation right here is it
Whoa, the girl on the moon. And it says right here, can the Chinese virus survive in outer space? Well, actually, very interesting. According to the Post, checking notes for you, buddy. Sick. Double check 8567890. And then we got Poop Boy with the United States watershed. I don't know about water. Doob 8 and another 8. Oh, yeah. Very nice Tribble. Thank you, Anonymous 8567892. And I love you, Lay Radio Man. I love you too, baby. Thank you so very much. But anyway, about the Chinese virus surviving outer space. As you may have noticed, there are lots of things going on in space. In fact, the Hopi prophecy, the blue is going to be seen in the near future. Atlas is the name of the comet. And actually, it's a harbinger of the end of days. That if the white man has made the world good, then everyone will survive. But otherwise, as is expected, it will all be doom and destruction. So is it possible that a comet or meteorite or some sort of other spacefaring machine has actually brought this virus to our world and it is otherworldly and yet naturally occurring? I think it is. Absolutely. I don't know. I never met the virus, I think. Can you virus pass from burping?
Well, technically it's air, so if there are any particles of the virus, you could potentially pass it through a burp.
I'm sorry, as far as I hope I don't pass the virus to you. Get that anime out of here. We don't want to infect nobody. Ooh, what's next? Okay, illuminate your naughty. No, and this is Illuminati eyes. So there's a narrative at this point where we're discussing the ideas behind the cabal, which is like the Illuminati, and how they've been owning the world for like 800 years, right? And then there's the storm with the Qs who are coming in to destroy the cabal and remove the Illuminati. But then, in the place of the Illuminati, they're going to put in the New World Order, which is going to be the destruction of all the monetary system, the revealing of a new world currency by Mark Zuckerberg, 666, Mark of the Beast. Don't pull a prank on Radio Man. Everybody put man in the chat. Do it. Don't forget to do it. Also, we do have to be concerned because we don't know what the goals of the New World Order are other than creating a one world government, one world currency, and basically just ruling everybody from the skies. If you want my opinion, it's probably artificial intelligence, but maybe there's aliens as well. Who knows for sure? Now, the government are reptile. Everyone works for the government is like a lizard. That is an absolute fact. But according, Abib, thank you, 8567902. According to Yuji Sakai, everyone who works for the government is like a nice person. Lol. So that makes you think. Neither one got dubbed. We don't know which one is true. It just means that something is true out there. And maybe one day we'll know if the government is lies or if they are nice. Now, one thing to know for certain is that the government itself is completely going to be trashed and turned into garbage by this process. We can even see the weaknesses of democracy, and compared to China, where they were able to just immediately start quarantining, pulling people out of their homes. Oh boy, and let me get started on that one. But anyways, here in America, we're still trying to pass a dang bill. It took us a whole week to pass it because people can't decide, and they can't just pass a bill on one thing that they're doing.
That's maybe want to slow it down a little bit and talk about. I'm sorry, it's okay. Now talk about the thing with the talk about the thing.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, reptiles are like lizards, and they come from the inside of the earth, so it's hollow inside. And if you go to the poles, you can actually just go in because all gravity comes from the crust. Okay, and that's where lava and magma come out too, from both sides. So you got inside of the earth, there's like a sun inside, and that's where Samsara and all that stuff is. But you can go in the hollow earth, and inside of there, it's peoples, and especially there's lizard peoples who survived the impact of the comet by going inside of the earth and evolved to have many new talents.
Now, do I believe that there's going to be aliens coming in to save the day? Boy, I sure hope not. And I definitely hope that this is no biblical prophecy. In my personal opinion, the prophecy itself is being carried out so that it matches all of these prophetic events and biblical terms. But then again, hey, who am I to know whether prophecies are correct or not? I never ate enough mercury to know, just a little bit, just enough of my vaccines when I got vaccinated for autism. Is that okay to talk about? No, we shouldn't talk about that. Okay. Who's eating your microphone, baby? I'll beat them up. Poop boy, don't worry about it. We're going to beat somebody up. Daniel, thank you so much for that. Yeah, Dad, I love you. You can stay here if you want to. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think there's any more lewd things being posted, so we're probably safe. Well, that's good. Stop making me laugh. You'll make me poo my pants. 8567912. Now, that's funny. I like that. Be careful not to puma your pants. If you do, you're going to very soon find out that spreading COVID-19 is much, much more simplistic than you believed initially. We also have Anonymous 8567914 who posted this picture for ants. Butterback, bacon neck ass, look like your ass, frick over mufflers and midgets. Boy, look at your little booty. Sell DVDs and socks on Madison, Palacio, Superdome, head booty. Look, mom, I'm a big kid now, looking self. Girl, cut with your high top fade, looking but LOL. Dirt dauber looking self person, Rick Ross beard smelling butt person, speed bump head butt boy, dust mite looking butt person, cock pistol head butt person, old neck bone smelling butt person, getting your groove on, ain't it? Date lately brother looking butt person, puppy power, slam dunk. I don't understand that meme. That was probably one for the kids, but I hope that you kids enjoyed it. No, I didn't understand it. But it's okay. Poop Boy quoting me once again, handle you with care. Okay, I'll call off the hounds. Thank you so much, Poop Boy. I have the utmost respect for you. You are beautiful and wonderful, and there's nothing that I would ever want to do to make your life more difficult. So I hope in these times, these tough times, that you will have success as a hand model, and that you will take the safety precautions of first bottling your poops for 3 days before you interact with them. This is only for safety, and I'm just looking out for you. I don't want you to get sick. Poop Boy also posts 8567922. Nice dubs. Remember the different sizes of glasses and the strength necessary to hold each of them when full. Now this is very, very important here. You don't want to have a glass that's half full. You want to make sure that you get the same size glass, and you want to input the urine into the glass at just a speed where it's not splashing out over the edges, but that it's also able to actually top the glass off pristinely without leaking any out. While urine is much, much more sanitary than feces, we do still have to be sure that we're not putting too much urine around, because we can get in big trouble, as they say, urine trouble. And indeed, I am in very much trouble. Anonymous 8567941 has an anime here. It's like a dead lizard, and then like some shuffling, and then it says, "Hey, what are you doing with that frog? What, this? This isn't a normal frog. This is just a dumb frog poster. They don't belong here. You can't just abuse those frogs because you don't like what they say." "Sure I can. Watch this." And then he throws the dumb frog poster away. Now listen, Anonymous. We talked about this earlier, and I just need to say it out loud. Okay? Dumb frog posters hate normies. They hate normals. But we're all dumb frog posters now. We're all living in the times where we can't tell what is truth and what is make-believe. Those frog posters are going to get depressed and sad about it. Maybe we need to look to them to find out what their coping mechanisms are to make us stronger. You know, frogs do evolve. They grow over time, and they become more expressive over time, and being mean to them is just going to make them feel even worse. So in these times, I would say that we need to provide more justice and peace. Is it dead? Is it not working? It may be working. Quintal can't hear anything. Quintal! Can you hear me? Hello? Are your ears working? Quintal! Can somebody please go check on Quintal? It seems like Seems like his ears may not be working. Ko! Just follow. Thank you, Ko, for following this channel. Again, please follow this channel as I will be posting more frequently, and it'll be much easier to let you know when I'm posting if we are together. Now, yay, T754645487, post number 8567942 says, I am almost out of food with no resolution because of society collapse. 2020, Yuji Sakai dies. Now, this is all an effect of Spikeman traveling, or Yasho traveling back to 1999 to attempt to defeat the Spikeman. The reality is that the Spikeman is not the only enemy. There are a countless number of enemies, and the more we specify on a specific point of time, the more strong we make that point of time in the timeline. We continue to transition between one universe and the other at this stage, and it is because we have put so much intention on the year 1999 that we have actually forced ourselves into these alternate realities. The best thing that we can do right now is to survive through this time so that we can once again transition realities in the future. Yasho, if you are out there, your attempts to defeat the Spikeman are illegitimate, and instead we should attempt to combine with the Spikeman. Yuji Sakai will die, but he will be reborn. Dear President of the United States, please end the Corona meme, as without a society, no matter how insane it is, I will not have the $1 a day food money much longer, and I will be end. Signed, Yuji Sakai. Also, giving $1,000 to all Americans doesn't help unless it's all Americans. Now, this is a very interesting piece of information, Yuji, and what I'd like to tell you. First of all, I am not the president, so I will pass this on to him as soon as I am able to. But you can get a pizza for just 10 cents. The 10-cent pizza, it only costs 10 cents. And if you only have $1, you can get 3 10-cent pizzas to feed yourself for all day. That's only 30 cents. That cuts 70 cents down. That means you can stretch that dollar out to 3 days worth of rations. And so I would be very, very prevalent and honest to tell you. As well, the $1,000 to each American is only going to apply if you are unemployed or you're not making a certain amount of money. And honestly, if you're not making $1,000 a month in your job, you should just quit and become unemployed, because it doesn't make any sense to stay at your job. Risking your life is an essential, and then also not making enough money to pay your rent. But this money will go to folks who need it. However, you are going to eventually have to pay that back, I will assume, through taxes, though I would be very, very a far stretch to say that the Federal Reserve is likely not going to survive through this, and instead we will have a brand new currency, so you'll be able to take all of the money you currently have, transition it over, and then begin creating new content, creating OC on the internet to make your neat bucks that you need, since we are all neats now. It is beautiful, and Yuji, please take care of yourself. 8567943. Straight up whack moronic dog shit. 750 million people get the flu every year. Grow up. Also, your voice is gay. 8567944. At least dub. Check your heteronormative voice privilege. Listen here, Anonymous. It doesn't really matter. If you were to actually have listened to the show, it doesn't matter whether it's real or fake. What matters is that there is action being taken due to it. We're not going to shut down governments over nothing. Okay? Even if the virus is nothing, what we're doing in response to the virus is something. And thank you so much. I'm glad that my voice makes you so happy. It also makes me happy. I hope that we are all happy here on Nice Radio. Refresh page, it works. I can hear now. Quintal, thank you so much for being able to hear. Tets, what post are we on right now? Money matching machine, go brrr. Base radio man, read the post number 8567945. Have you guys heard of the coronavirus? It's very dangerous. 0.5% die off of it, so it's justified to only make the same content surrounding it on every platform every day. I completely agree. Unfortunately, everybody usually just talks about the same exact thing. Your lay radio man is presenting something that folks aren't necessarily talking about. And don't worry, this will not, of course, be the last show we have about this, since it's literally a part of our lives now. The girl 8567946 is flipping her bird finger at me. Thoughts on the grinny girl? I think she's pretty cool, but she seems a little rude. Actually, my favorite type of person. I think we'd have a good time together. It's very likely that we would go get a hamburger, or perhaps at this point someone would go shopping, come home, completely sterilize themselves in hand sanitizer, and then pass the meat out to folks to grill on their own separate grills, so that we make sure that we are not, in fact, infecting others. Very nice smiley girl. Really like her a lot. We got the COVID-19 virus wearing a suit here to protect itself from the dirty, dirty beaches and birds out here on the beach. I appreciate that very much. COVID, be sure to stay safe, fam. If you are not safe, then we definitely won't be safe. Imagine if COVID-19 was also as dangerous as COVID-19 is. Okay? What if COVID caught COVID? We don't need that. Speaking of COVID, we had Cody 2020, right? Cody 2020 happened in 2012. Cody 2012 happened in Cody 2012. Cody 2012 happened. Then we have to worry about 2020, which Kobe died in 2020. So what's that called, folks? That's called predictive programming. Literally, we were set up for this to happen the entire time. Now, you're just poll radio now? Fug off. Unless you can think up your own content, repeating what everyone else says is lame. Anonymous 2567950. We also have fag radio. Fag radio. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't know what you mean. It seems like this person is kind of upset with me. Love this Cade. This is a beautiful Cade outside, drooling a little bit. Very nice job with the Cade. I love it. And please, yes, censor the word F:"G. The reason we don't want to say that word is because it is offensive to some people. Some folks have had a really hard time quitting cigarettes, and so I understand. I'm sorry if I triggered anyone by using that word, but we need to remember that people are nice and that life is happy and nice. Everyone is drowning themselves and everything around them with Lysol, yet little do they know that the directions say everything needs to stay wet for 20 seconds to be sanitized or 3 minutes for it to be disinfected. So basically they're doing nothing. That's 8567955. Interesting piece of information there, Anonymous. Personally, I think that just washing your hands is fine. You need to wash your hands for 20 seconds. But again, you're carrying, you go to the store, you put all your stuff on the counter. The lady at the counter touches all of the stuff. She's been in contact with people all day. Whether she's showing symptoms or not, she is a spreader. Now, she's touching all your stuff. Where's she going to put it? She's going to put it in the bag. You grab the bag. You put it in the basket, which other people have been using. You sanitize yourself. And then you grab that bag and you put it in your trunk. And guess what? You've got it on your hands again. You go to pick your nose, you eat your boogers. Guess what? You get it again. It shouldn't be this way. People should be able to eat their boogers in peace. Gwyneth Paltrow has Dr. Jen Gunter said, "Why do you need gloves and a mask? Isn't your immune-boosting supplement that you were promoting at the start of the flu season effective?" Well, you know what? Gwyneth Paltrow just wants to wear a mask because it's fashionable. She's wearing gloves and carrying her bags, and I'm telling you this, she's going to dump those bags out onto her cabinet. She's going to take those gloves off and throw the bags away. She's going to wash her hands all the way down to her elbows. And then she's going to clean all of that produce right there. Anything in a box should be removed from the box if you're really that worried about it. Do I think you need to be worried about it? Yeah, in some ways. I suppose you should be. Lamest radio yet, Anonymous 8567967. Thank you so much. I really enjoy the fact that you are enjoying this radio program. Where to get the money machine? You can get it from eBay. Konoi 2032. If Koni's so good, why not Koni 2013? Good question, Alex. And also, don't touch my stuff. Keep your hands away from me. We interrupt this radio program for a radical health tip. Now that the fourth horseman of the apocalypse has arrived, it is more important than ever to stay hydrated. Sneezing, coughing, fever, sweating, begging, and crying for your life, they all remove water from your body. Remember, water is vital to the healthy functioning of your body and must be replenished. If you run out of water, your mucus will thicken in your lungs and suffocate you. Drink water to maintain a healthy, productive cough. Stay hydrated, my sick dudes. And maybe sick wasn't the right word to use there, but thank you so much. Sick Zipper, fourth horseman of the apocalypse, says Poop Boy. That's an illegal gathering. Disperse at once. Actually, at this point, you can have a gathering go up to 10, though some areas do suggest that 3 or less is the total number. Personally, I wouldn't be associating with anybody in large numbers. If you can help it, if you do have to do so, please just be careful and don't let yourself hurt yourself or others. It's funny to me that this show is being seen as an inappropriate thing by our one user. It's almost as if the coronavirus is in our thread trying to downplay our promotion of this truth that is coming to fruition. The revealing, the revelation of the new world. Be sure to sip sick water. I'm about to sip some water myself. Please enjoy some nice water. Still haven't figured out how to normalize volume levels. Well, Anonymous, I would love to help you. I'd love you to help me. But, the fact is that I basically come online and I do the radio show immediately. I don't have testing and things like that. But you know what? I'm not going to waste my time talking to you. Audio is all radio is. Never bother to get the audio levels correct. Genius! If people wanted to help me get these audio levels better, we could do this. We could help out. I'm just trying to do the best that I can for you folks. I'm going to be watching you very closely. Be careful, or else. Well, thanks a lot, Anonymous8568003. I really appreciate that. We are here in thread 8567583. You can find us on Sunrise FM, as well in many other locations. Poop Boy, here in Europe, we're a bit more relaxed when it comes to urine splashing. It just needs to be tagged differently. Personally, I just want to pee to be hydrated enough, That's very good, Poop Boy. You should absolutely be peeing as well as you can. We want to be careful here in the United States because we don't have as much freedom as the Europeans. So we have to be careful when we pee. We have to store our pee inside of plastic containers because glass has been outlawed for the storing of urine. So it becomes very, very difficult as we move through. But I do appreciate you Europeans, and I think we have a lot to learn from you. As our mother countries, you are basically what we will become. And so I think that's great. Add me on Nintendo. I forgot Anonymous way back then, 8567694. I just purchased Animal Crossing New Horizons for Nintendo Switch by the Nintendo Company. Add me on Nintendo, 8568011. Great dubs. It gets here in 2 days. I also have Animal Crossing for Nintendo. If you would like to be my friend, you can just send me a message over on the Discord channel. Again, you can find that in the Sunrise FM chat. And you can become my friend, and we can explore each other's homes together. I don't play that often. Honestly, I've been playing Doom Eternal much more, which is a brilliant, wonderful game. But I do, in fact, like Animal Crossing, and appreciate that you would bring Animal Crossing into this beautiful thread. At a time like this, when we are stuck inside of our homes, it is great that we can share a space, a digital space, and it's a foregrounding and forewarning to the future that we are traveling through, which is the hyper-industrialized, super technological state. Bethard, add me on Nintendo. I will do so, Alan. I love you very much. Money Machine go brrrr. That's true. I've heard the Money Machine do that before. Hi, Badio Man. I am currently in a heavy coof session. Serious coof. I'm gonna serious coughing. You need to be very careful, my friend. First of all, as we heard from Six Sipper, you need to make sure to stay hydrated. Hydration is one of the most important things that you can do in life because you are primarily water, and so therefore keeping yourself hydrated is just going to make everything run a little bit more smoothly inside of your body. As well, you do want to be sure that you're eating vitamin C if possible. You want to start eating meals at home, right? You want to stay at home as much as possible. You want to cook your own meals. You want to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and staying safe because it's incredibly important to do so. Otherwise, we'll lose one person listening to nice radio, and I could not deal with myself if I didn't have Anonymous 8568016. You're beautiful and wonderful, and thank you, Anonymous, for sipping that sick sip. As well, Anonymous 8568022 says, remember to eat melon, quoting themselves over and over again. Don't forget those are dubs. That means they're true, and therefore eat more melon for your health. Wasch der Deihan, al Hattes du Grand, schilles genaschend und wulles jest masturberieren. I don't know what that means, and I don't think I pronounced it correctly, but that's okay. Zeppelin is eating vitamin C. You must eat the vitamin C. It's very, very important to do so. Don't forget to eat vitamin C. Don't forget to fall in love with yourselves and other folks. Don't touch my stuff. No, it broke my ears. Broke. Video buffering test. Good test. Thank you. How's the video going? Looking good. Not buffering right now. We're going to listen to some nice tunes. I hope that you are enjoying this radio broadcast. If you have anything to contribute, please feel free to post to the thread. Go to the sunrise.fm live page and post there. You can also send me an email. I like a ride to choo-choo at gmail.com. All nice music can be found on s4s.bandcamp.com. That is esfores.bandcamp.com. I love you very much, and thank you for being so absolutely wonderful. This is the Radio Man, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Stay strong, stay woke, and don't forget to drink water.
Do you know why you're lonely? It's 'cause you're fat and gay. Girls don't choose the nice And you're a nice guy, but you're fat and you're fucking gay. And why don't girls see the inside? Oh, they do. And they see that you're still fat and gay. There's no such thing as the friend zone, friend zone. The only reason that you're lonely is 'cause you're fat and gay. There's no such thing as the friend zone, friend zone. The only reason that you're lonely is 'cause you're fat and gay.
Pure in heart, mind, and soul. Pure means no conflicts in the mind, no emotional problems in the heart, and that individual soul was searching as the river searches for the ocean. But if the student is tuned and is prepared to understand, then he understands. To know something means just to know, not to fight. Through head you talk, but let your head be one pointed.
Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. To all my friends who just donated lemons, I very much appreciate it. Donate a lemon, join the line. Very nice to join the line of lemons. We have some wonderful folks here. Quintal has left us. Goodbye, Quintal. Have a good one. Anyone who has to do beautiful things during the day, I understand it. Please remember to socially distance yourself. I am going to bring that up in a moment, but there is a conversation. Gonna go eat dinner. Bye for now, radio person. Goodbye, Anonymous. I hope that you come back soon. 8568029. Now, Poop Boy, me showing my mom, Jacksepticeye, Jack coming, me and my mom, me smiling, my mom wants to fight me. Poop Boy, I hope that your mom doesn't fight you. Sharing those bodily fluids could be very, very hazardous during this emotional state that we are going through. I'm going to die from a coronavirus. Well, I don't know what a corona is, 8568031, but I hope that you don't die. Dying is actually very depressing because it means you're dead afterwards. And so I hope that you don't die, and especially hope you don't die from corona, whatever that may be. Is that like Adam Caroba? Government, work from home, U.S. Navy. Instead, let's take a bath together. I don't know that this is the best idea for social distancing. However, these young men do seem to be keeping each other quite clean. So what's better than washing your hands? Washing your entire body. And on that note, please take 6 sippers suggestion. Drink plenty of water. Take plenty of showers. Treat yourself. Make yourself feel good these days. We got a melon girl eating the melon. Thank you so much for eating that melon. It's going to keep you safe. Now, who has the best shooting face? I will leave this up to you. I have a personal opinion about it, but I'm going to leave it until you have a chance to input your own information here. Now, this is a Star Wars-related question here, and it's who has the best shooting face. These are things that are very important to think about as we move forward into the future. I want to be sure that we are all being very happy and that when we see these shooting faces, we know what's going on. Now, this next one says, call. Yes, and this is dog. You're my favorite pizza place. What? Twitter for Android. Very nice, Poop Boy. I don't understand. Romdui, very nice. Mom, I feel unsafe. Discover Weekly following made for Colin Carbarnes. 1 feet. That is a Vladimir Putin with the cute anime eye. I do have to say, Vladimir Putin looking amazing inside of his hazmat gear. Very, very adorable. Social distance interval test. If the tip turns red, politely inform that they are standing too close. If you have a gun with you and it has a bayonet should extend about 6 feet in front of your body. So that is very good. You just stick it out, you swing it around in a circle, and if it hits anyone, they will know that they need to distance themselves a bit further. Now, talking about social distancing, R. Kelly wants to be released from jail because he's concerned about the coronavirus. But if it was Corona-15, COVID-15 instead of COVID-19, he'd be cool with it. And probably he'd just want to pee on it from a safe distance. The reality here is that the social distancing in jail is something that needs to be discussed, which is a big reason why they're releasing a lot of people from jail. 856-8044, Poop Boy getting dubs once again. Government work from home, EA employees jacking money from their mom. Very nice. What are you going to do? Buy a video game with that? Probably. Anonymous also says this is a very nice way to practice social distancing. Thank you, radio friend, and put up this beautiful image that I'd like to share with you all right away. This image here, oh, what a beautiful little image. Now, I want to talk about social distancing for just a moment because there is some underlying issue with social distancing. The idea is that we are being conditioned to stand 6 feet away from each other. Now, this, of course, is a good thing in a pandemic scenario, even though if you sneeze, it's going to go much further than 5 or 6 feet away from you. Technically, it doesn't really do anything. The purpose of this is to keep it around for long enough that everyone becomes conditioned to staying 6 feet away, so that when we start things like military checkpoints, or let's just say the military needs to obscure or obtain a target, they can easily grab that person without having to push a bunch of other people out of the way. You could imagine in a scenario where a high, whatever you call it, a target needs to be eliminated. It'd be very difficult if they were in a crowd. Much different if they were separated by 6 feet. Just be aware, 100% police state is a go, and we are at the end. Kelly Yuga, welcome. Work from home? I don't even work from work. Ah! Ash is hilarious, relatable, wholesome. Keanu Chungus, very nice. 856-8046. Nice draw. I'm loving it. Tom Poster, thank you for liking that. Poop Boy, stay home if you sick. Come over if you thick. Do not go over to Poop Boy's house. Call Poop Boy on the phone. Contact Poop Boy through Nice Radio. Send a message on Lay Radio. Send a message on S4S. Karoba Jamaica Girl, I want to take ya. I believe that is a song from the 80s. Radio Man, how do I cure my deadly Karoba virus? You can check your Karoba virus by just kissing yourself on the lips. And if you cough, then you might have Karoba virus. Now, to cure it, you're going to need to hug yourself very tightly. You're going to need to eat a lot of home-prepared meals like soups. Keep yourself very hydrated. Personally, I would suggest getting out in the sun for a few hours a day. That's going to boost your vitamin B12, vitamin D as well. It's going to help you fight against the terrible viruses that are out there. Getting some fresh air is also always very nice. Getting you out of the house in the same place that you're always kind of being supposed around. And then on top of that, you just want to be sure that you are basically staying away from public areas as much as possible so that you don't reinfect yourself with Karoba. Karoba, Jamaica, oh, I want to take, now I got it. But that's not, Karoba is not the right. But anyway, that's aside from the subject. Really what you just need to do is take care of yourself, practice good social distancing like the nice grill would. Play some video games. But be sure that, also would be a good idea, first of all, is also keeping your mental state positively. So don't spend all day listening to the media, listening to scare tactics about this thing, looking at all these conspiracy theories. If you start to feel stressed out by it, just take a break. Move away. Go do something else that's fun. Play a video game. Animal Crossing is very calming. Doom Eternal is very brutal and fun. But do something fun. Draw. Read a book. You can utilize this time to kind of self-improve yourself, right? So another great thing for your health and your body is to just work out. Even if it's just a few hours a day, even if you just get Ring Fit Adventure for the Nintendo Switch TM, and you go and you play on that for a little while, that's going to be good for you in the long run. It's going to help boost your immune system, and it's also going to bring your mental state up because you're getting endorphins and things like that from working out. And so it's incredibly important for you to just take care of yourself at these times. Don't worry about everything going on in the world. Just worry about yourself. Focus on you. And the idea should be that when we come out of all this, no matter what the scenario is, that we will be better people than we were when we came in. This is a quicksilver moment where we're able to actually have all of this change and all of this momentum shift toward the new future, the new reality that we live in. And so we should take advantage of that before we end up in that new reality, fall into a routine, and end up just living that same exact world all over again. It's very, very important for you to take care of yourself, and I hope that you will, because I love and care for you very, very much. Now, Poop Boy posting once again, 856-8055, good dubs. This is an image, and the girl says, will this coronavirus cancel tonight's orgy? The boy says, no, we'll take extra care, don't worry. And we have the man with the costume with his rump hanging out, the plague doctor here with the anal beads, and the woman with the bag over her head. I am just going to say they do have plenty of toilet paper in the background. That's good. Just want to say, still very dangerous because this virus can be transmitted through bodily fluids. Just be cautious, okay? If you're going to rub it into your skin, whatever, just wash your hands. That's very important. Thank you, Poop Boy, for the beautiful dubs. Really epic. I love it. Stay come home over. If you sick thick. Don't bring the thick sick over to my house, my friend. What if I told you poopy butt booby? Punch butt. Well, that's very interesting, and I don't know about poopy butt booby, but punch butt has always been a good fun to me. So basically, you're suggesting phone ski. Yes, phone ski is safe, completely 100% safe, though we did find out on our last radio broadcast that coronavirus can be transmitted through the radio, so be very, very careful. I'm very, very, very concerned. Very concerned for all of us. Now, as far as the anime is concerned, piss on the toilet seat to kill Bill Clinton. 856-8061. I don't know who Bill Clinton is. He sounds like a nice man. Reminds me of Bill Clinton, one of the presidents of the United States. He was actually a good friend of mine. Did a lot of jazz and things like that. Very super fun. So I wish that you would all just tell me what it is you want to do in life, and I can help you do that by moving forward toward a new paradigm of expression. Now, my dear friends, I am going to quickly play some sounds for you here. Just give me a second.
This goes out to not even the haters, because no one even bothers to hate this. Everything I make is shit. 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 Wake up in the morning and think today I try. Then I try and realize it's all shit. Everything I make, everything I make, everything I make fucking sucks. Everything I make is shit. 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 I try draw, it fucking sucks. I try music and it sounds super bad. Everything I make is shit. 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 I don't have a single talent. I'm just crazy, I'm not an artsy kid. Everything I make is shit. 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 Every single thing is fucking sucks. No one gives a shit, and why should they? It just fucking sucks. So, what's left? Try to not give up or some shit, but this doesn't hide the fucking truth. Everything, yeah, you know what's coming. Everything I make is shit. 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 Every single thing is fucking shit. You know, quite fitting to my life, cause there too, oh yeah, everything sucks there too. Everything I make is shit. Everything I make is shit. Everything I make is shit. Every single fucking thing I make is fucking sucks. Everything fucking sucks. Everything I make is shit. 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 So let's dream.
We are back on Nice Radio. Thank you so much. Don't pee on the toilet seat to kill Bill Klein. He's going to die on his own. Nobody but Sweden makes the Coffin! This is really nice. IKEA coffin. Sweden was doing social distancing before it was cool. Excellent job, Sweden. Thank you for being so progressive. Now, we do have I Am Cool asking, I've been eating from trash cans a lot lately. Is that likely to increase my chances of contracting the virus? Checking Keck says that increased the chance to poop XD. Now, personally, I would say that, yes, it is probably going to increase your chances a bit, as there may be spittle there. But it really depends on when you're checking out these trash cans. So if you're, seeing somebody throw some food away and immediately going into the trash can and eating it, that's one thing. Now, if you're waiting until everybody's already gone, the store closed at 8, you're waiting until, 11, 12 o'clock, by that time the food should basically be safe from coronavirus. Now, any other type of viruses, I'm not 100% sure, but I would just kind of modify your behavior to make sure that you're actually interacting with that food and those trash cans later in the day, later away from other folks, and that's going to reduce the enhanced risk that you're taking by eating trash. But, trash has always been a great way. Eating trash has always been a great way to boost the immune system, and so I do highly recommend it in this scenario to continue beefing yourself up. Speaking of getting beefed up, we have Poop Boy looking super beefy today. Now I'm going to show an image of Poop Boy. Just needs a little more cowbell, but otherwise, oofy doofy. Look at this big boy. Yep. He's ready to do it. I think Poop Boy makes the best shooting face. I'm going to just say it. Poop Boy's shooting face is the best. 100%. Now, why is white men allowed to grow hair beyond their shoulders? And the reason is so that Jared Leto can start a cult on an island, and his followers call him Prophet. Now, apparently that's true. I'm not 100% certain on that. Thanking for those dubs, 856-8064. If Jared Leto were my prophet, I would probably say that there would be a lot of psychedelic drugs involved. If you've ever seen the Lupin the Third show, the Lie of Fujiko Mine, then you will see that prophet actually uses psychedelic drugs to manipulate people. And I believe that could be it. Maybe, in fact, Jared Leto is the Lord God himself. A little more cowbell, but nailed it pretty much. 856-8066. Nice dubs. Poop Boy just going insane. When I was little, I named creatures I drew by throwing a bunch of syllables together. Dug up these abominations. We have Scullio Darkbarth. We have Derniger Dragon Ear. And we have Water Slunt. Now, I don't know. Water Slunt seems pretty weird to me. Don't Dead. Open inside, yes. To open .bwave files, install Foobar 2K, and install the VGM Stream plugin, 856-8077. Can't argue with dubs like that. The Cotted has a very strange eyeball placement. I'm not going to be judgmental here, but I'm not certain that Cotted can see anything in front of it. Poop Boy thinking for double check as well. Check these now, everyone. They're epip. Eaten a sando in the evening, buds. After this all ends, I will be dummy thick. You got to make sure that the girl is the big girl and the boy is the little girl boy. Nice dubs, but who are you quoting? An excellent question here. No one quite knows who's being quoted. Now, I Am Cool also says, I ate medical waste from a locked dumpster by the hospital. I thought it was ground beef. Well, how long did that medical waste sit in that trash receptacle? Was it something that just happened? It was kind of fresh, or was it like a few hours ago they dumped it? Because you have to consider, when they're taking the medical waste in, they're putting it in a bin, right? It's not like they're immediately bringing it out to the dumpster. That happens toward the end of the shift. So technically, as long as it was a few hours after the end of the shift, you should be friends. Friends, the stream is all fucked up.